baseman, number 9, Robbie Matz, from George, Washington. The starting pitcher for the Gatemen this evening is number 33, Miller Hogan, from St. Louis. We'll be playing some of Jimmy Buffett's greatest songs throughout the game. Make sure to stop by the concession stand during the game. One lucky fan will win a cheeseburger in Paradise prize. And tonight only, get your Cape League tie-dye t-shirts on sale for only $15. At this time, we ask you to please rise for the singing of the National Anthem. Here to perform tonight's National Anthem, please welcome Steve Ruiz. Steve is a well-known Wareham guy. He is the Executive Director of WCTV and sings at most town meetings. Steve also has a background in gospel music. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Ruiz.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Throwing out the ceremonial first pitch this evening is Patrick Peters. Patrick is a Gatemen back kid, and his
The
family
following is
also
a
hosts
presentation of
Gatemen
Wareham
Players.
Gatemen Baseball,
He is
brought to you
13
by the
and
Gatemen
plays
Baseball
Babe
Network
Ruth
in
baseball.
conjunction with the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Oh, when you're ready, Patrick.
Last summer, the Wareham Gatemen had one of their most successful seasons in franchise history.
Skied out to left field. This ball is way back. See you later. Colton Shaver.
One pitch. That is rocketed out to right field. Back goes the right fielder. That one's gone. An absolute bomb to right field for Gavin Sheets.
But despite their regular season success, the 2016 Gatemen were sent packing after the first round of the CCBL playoffs.
Is this ball fair? It is! Crow comes in to score the game's tying run. McKinnon comes in as well. Bourne has walked off, and Wareham's season is over.
Now, a new season and a fresh start in Wareham. College baseball's finest are coming from all over the country in pursuit of the Gatemen's 8th Cape Cod Baseball League Championship.
Through the infield, coming around to score is Topa Play at the plate, and Metz is safe too. It's a 2 RBI single. 0-1 count on Luke Bonfield, who swings and drives this one deep to left field. That one is into the trees.
That's sent right up the middle, past the dive of the shortstop, and in for a base hit. Rounding third, heading home is Bonfield. An RBI single for Robbie Metz.
Off speed, throwing back to first base McIver, and the tag is in time from Sable. Driven out to right center and deep. This one is gone. Tristan Pompey is second of the night. His second 3-run shot.
Chopped in the infield, coming over is Politz. He doesn't handle the baseball. The run scores. The Gatemen win their third consecutive home opener.
It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball, and you're listening to it live.
It's the final team that has yet to visit Spillane Field. They're here tonight. It's the Brewster Whitecaps taking on your Wareham Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Sam Corman, joined by my pal and broadcast partner, Jacob Toby, a veteran here on the Cape League now. This is the third season in the Cape League, on the Cape League. Is it on the Cape League or is it in the Cape League?
This is my third season in the Cape League.
Okay, just making sure. Miller Hogan is a starter today. What do you expect to see out of him?
I expect to see a fastball going around 94 miles an hour, breaking ball, which has been working the past couple outings. He had 5 strikeouts last time versus Bourne. So get ahead early in the count. You should be good tonight. But this lineup, though, they can slug some home runs.
A.J. Graffinino is not a home run hitter, but he's going to step in first, the leadoff guy for the Brewster Whitecaps. We'll run through the lineup in just a second, but Miller Hogan's ready for first pitch here at Spillane Field. Game number 25 today for the Wareham Gatemen. And here is the pitch from the righty, Miller Hogan. The first pitch is swung on in flied out straight to center field. Stephen Kwan waits under it and makes the grab for the first out of the game. Stephen Kwan, you heard him just now out there in center. Let's run through the Gatemen defense before we take you through this Brewster lineup. Left to right in the outfield, John Topa in left, Stephen Kwan in center, Tristan Pompey making his fielding debut for the Gatemen in right field. In the infield, left to right, Robbie Metz at third, Kyle Kasser at short, Jaron Duran at second, Jake Anchia the usual catcher getting the start at first base. William McIver is today's catcher out of Washington, catching for Miller Hogan, and he delivers the second pitch of the game on the inside corner, called strike by today's home plate umpire, Pat Sparky Burns. We'll run through the Brewster lineup in just a second after Miller Hogan delivers the 0-1 pitch. Taking his time, nodding off a few different pitches from McIver, and now delivers a changeup in there for a strike. 0-2. Way out in front of that one was the Alabama Crimson Tide and dangerous hitter Chandler Taylor. You just saw A.J. Graffinino. He led off at shortstop, flew out to center. Chandler Taylor is at bat right now. He's in right. He's hitting second. Mickey Gasper is catching. He'll hit third. The pitch fouled away. Michael Curry, the DH, will bat cleanup. Kyle Datris is at third base. He will bat fifth. Hunter Bishop is in center. He'll bat sixth. Marty Costas is in left. He will bat seventh. Batting eighth, Julian Infante is at first base. And Nick Dunn, the returning Brewster Whitecap, rounding out the Brewster order, batting ninth at second base. The righty Hogan delivers. Breaking ball cut on and missed by Chandler Taylor. Strikeout number one, the first one of the game for Miller Hogan, presented by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard.
Nasty stuff there on the breaking ball from Miller Hogan. Talked about that being his second pitch. We're going to see it a lot tonight. And he strikes out a guy in Chandler Taylor who has just been phenomenal this past season.
Yeah, Chandler Taylor, you just saw him. He's a big power hitter. We'll get to more on him next time he comes to the plate. Right now it's the leading Brewster Whitecap hitter in just about every category. It's Mickey Gasper. Today playing catcher. How does a guy like him out of Bryant just end up coming in here and becoming such a prominent guy in this Brewster lineup with all these other big names in here?
Sometimes it doesn't matter where you go to school, it's what you do at this school. You can say that about us. It doesn't matter where we go to school, it's about what we do with the program, and he has done wonders for Bryant over there, and you know, he's such a great hitter all around. He can play multiple positions. He has the power, has the speed. That's why he's in that 3-hole today.
Certainly has most tools required to be successful here in the Cape Cod League. Fouls it back over us, 1-2, with 2 out here in the first inning. Miller Hogan is the pitcher for the Gatemen out of St. Louis University, the Billikens. They call that slough out there off the Mississippi River. Gasper, 54 games this season, 342 average for the Bryant Bulldogs. Takes a ball and a breaking ball just outside, and the count runs to 2-2.
Sure, he was talking to Nick Angelini before the game.
Absolutely. Teammates over there. Gasper a catcher, Angelini an outfielder. Hogan stares down the Brewster Whitecap, and it's low, full count now. Gasper, perhaps his most impressive stat of all of them at Bryant, was that he walks more than 2 times the amount of his strikeouts, meaning his strikeout to walk ratio is 0.43. The lefty swings and fouls it away, staying alive, and a long count now on Miller Hogan. I believe this will be pitch number 8 coming up in the at-bat. Gasper, a .333 hitter thus far in the Cape League. That leads the Brewster Whitecaps. Hogan facing the lefty, lined foul down the line. Takes a big hop right off the corner of the grass and the gravel over there at first base and goes foul. Other 2 umpires today, we mentioned Pat Sparky Burns behind home plate. Stephen Williams is at first. Ronaldo Cockrum is manning the left side of the infield today. Right now he stands at the third baseline. Hogan struggles a lot more against lefties than he does righties. That makes sense for a righty pitcher. And that pitch is low. Gasper works a walk to extend this inning for the Brewster Whitecaps.
No walks in Hogan's last outing, which has been really impressive. He's only walked 2 batters this whole season so far, and this is now his 5th appearance, so he's had the control all season long.
Gasper on first now. Hogan been really good this year. He comes into today with a 2.08 ERA on the season. He's been a regular starter on this Gatemen pitching staff. Gasper waits off first. The pitch is outside, 1-0. Michael Curry, the designated hitter. at the plate.
We joked about it yesterday. The Gatemen pitching staff now second in the league in walks, which is the first time all season that's happened.
Hogan much more successful this year against righty batters, and that one in there for a strike. Curry looks back at the umpire, Pat Burns, and asks him for confirmation as to what his strike zone might look like today. Everyone's different, of course, in the umpiring world. Throw over to first, nothing doing for Gasper. He gets back in time. Interesting to watch some new fielders and new positions today. Pompey in right, and she has been at first before, but you don't see it that often, so that'll be interesting to watch. Lined into center field. This one will drop over the head of Jaron Duran for a base hit. Gasper got a little bit of a late jump, and because of that, he stops at second. Michael Curry with a single, and now some two-out magic for the Brewster Whitecaps is brewing up. A runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
That bat might have been broken on that swing there from Michael Curry, but he does the job. He bloops it into shallow right center field, and now 2 runners on with 2 outs here for the Whitecaps.
Kyle Datris is the batter after Michael Curry, the Georgia Bulldog, gets on base. Datris, the UNC Tar Heel, now facing Miller Hogan. Mentioned this last time the Brewster Whitecaps played the Gatemen. Datris is from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, which means he probably got to grow up going to the Little League World Series, which is pretty cool stuff considering it's in a very small town. Slow roller to first. Picking it up as Anchia flips to Miller Hogan to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base for the Brewster Whitecaps. The Wareham Gatemen coming to bat here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
The Down East Lobster Roll combos are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back. Joe Mulletier on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps, the right-handed pitcher. And what do you expect to see from Mulletier today?
Well, he's at a Monmouth, a small school for him, but for here, it doesn't matter. It's not about where you're from, like we just said in that last half inning. He's got a 3.44 ERA here. He pitches a 4-seam fastball, 2-seamer, slider, and a changeup. So he's got 4 pitches that he really works with here. So if you're a Gatemen hitter, you got to be on your toes because you're going to see a lot of different pitches tonight.
Yeah, that 2-seamer, especially effective against lefty batters, I'm sure. And one of those is in the box right now. It's Stephen Kwan. We'll take you through the Gatemen lineup as quickly as possible. Stephen Kwan leading off. He's in the batter's box right now. He plays center field. Mulletier delivers. He shows bunt, pulls it back as he saw that the pitch was low. And it's 1-0 on Kwan. Kyle Castor's on deck. He's hitting second at shortstop. Willie McIver is in the hole. He's catching. And John Topa cleaning up in left field. Pitches in there for a strike from Mulletier. The count's 1-1. Tristan Pompey making his Fielding debut, we mentioned that in the top half. He's in right field, batting 5th. Jake Anchia at first base, batting 6th. Luke Bonfield, the DH today, batting 7th. That one fouled away. Jaron Duran batting 8th at second base, and Robbie Metz, the third baseman, will round out the Gatemen order. For the Brewster Whitecaps in the outfield, left to right in the outfield, Marty Costas in left, Hunter Bishop in center, Chandler Taylor in right. Third base to first base, Kyle Datrish at third. Shortstop, A.J. Graffinino. Second base, Nick Dunn. First base, Julian Infante. Catching for the Brewster Whitecaps, Mickey Gasper. For Joe Molitier, the Monmouth player. And here he deals a 2-2 outside, full count to Stephen Kwan. Kwan has just been, he's just known how to get on base. He only has one game this season where he does not have an RBI with the Gatemen since getting here. This is game number 8 for him, and he fouls that one away. He has 7 RBIs on the season, averaging an RBI per game coming into this point. He's been impressive since arriving from the College World Series just a few weeks ago. 12 for 27 so far, and he takes a strike called on the outside corner. He was about a third of the way down to first base, but now he turns toward the dugout. One out in the bottom half of the first.
It's funny how you mentioned Kwan in the College World Series. Last time these two teams played, he was still fighting for that World Series title in the tournament. Same with Tristan Pompey. So a couple guys facing this team for the first time here for the Gatemen tonight.
Kyle Kasser steps in, the Oregon Duck, following up an Oregon State Beaver for the Gatemen. Top 3 in this lineup, all Pac-12 hitters, Kwan, Kasser, and McIver. First pitch, he's swinging away, and he hacks it to the second baseman, Dunn, who fields it cleanly and shucks it over to Julian Infante for the second out. 2 quick outs for the Gatemen, just as was the case for Miller Hogan against the Brewster Whitecaps in the top half of the inning.
You like to see that, but Hogan got into some, not some trouble, but let a couple runners on base in that first inning. So sure Molitier is looking for the opposite, trying to shut down one of the top hitters here on the Cape in McIver.
William McIver, certainly been a top hitter on the Cape. .333 average thus far. The Washington Husky hits about 4 or 5 spots ahead of his counterpart, A.J. Graffinino, in the normal Washington batting order. You'd often see McIver in the 4 or 5 hole, and then you see Graffinino down at the 7 or 8. So these guys are pretty familiar with each other. The shortstop for the Brewster Whitecaps and today's Gatemen catcher in McIver. The pitch is high. It's 2-0. Probably one of the more fun parts about coming to the Cape League for these guys is getting the chance to play guys that they usually never play because they're on the same team for an entire season at college. Certainly the case here with McIver and Graffinino. In there for a strike on a breaking ball. Good pitch from Molitier. 2-1.
Or you could end up on the same team here on the Cape.
Like McIver and Ben Baird. Not 2 Washington Huskies, and of course there's 2 Yukon Huskies as well. Swing and a miss. McIver, 2-2. Hacking through that one. Good pitch from Molitier. Changing it up quite a bit.
Talk about, Fioli and Topa.
Yeah.
Yukon.
There was a third in Sam Nepiarski, who was here for a few weeks. Believe he's now in the NECBL. Pitch is low, 3-2.
What team?
Good question. Let's find out. John Topa waits on deck. 2 outs in the first inning, a 0-0 ball game between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Wareham Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Sam Corman. Jacob Toby doing some research next to me. Takes a pitch inside. McIver works a walk, so a very similar start to this bottom half of the first inning. And we saw to the top half of the first inning, 2 quick outs, then a walk for each of these pitchers. And John Topa stepping in. He's not a guy so based on what we've seen so far this season, he's not a guy that would be driving in McIver from first. He'd be a guy that'd be extending this inning with a ground ball through the right side of the infield right now.
Just like Michael Curry extended the inning with a little bloop single back in the first, Topa's kind of the same player.
Topa takes a pitch way inside, about halfway into the batter's box, able to get out of the way, and it's now 1-0. Topa in the cleanup spot for the first time in a while. Hasn't been in there since the very beginning of the season. Since then, he's been more of a 6 or 7 hole guy, but with a 342 average, why not put him up there hitting 26 for 76 so far, 2-0 on an inside pitch. Tristan Pompey, who had a 2-hit day yesterday, is on deck. Topa, the Yukon Husky, at the plate. The Washington Husky of William McIver at first base. Dealing outside is the pitcher Molatier. Heading out to talk to him is Mickey Gasper.
Yeah, I think that fastball is running a bit outside right now. Talking about control. He walked McIver just a batter ago, so got to focus that fastball, trying to get it more towards the inside. Not over the plate, but just more towards the outside.
With the switch hitter on deck in Pompey, you think Topa might be taking this pitch all the way, but we'll see what he decides to do. He's moving up quite a ways in the batter's box. Takes a strike on the inside corner, 3-1. Looking over towards the dugout for a sign from the Gatemen head coach, Don Snedden. Topa crowding the batter's box, now moves to the back of it. Grounds it through the left side for a base hit. On to second is McIver. This inning is about identical to the Brewster inning just a few minutes ago.
The only thing that you said was he'd send it to the gap on the right side of the infield. He pulls it and goes to the left side. Doesn't matter, same thing. Still a single. Like you said, it's the same exact inning as the first, although Quan struck out and not flew out to center. But, I mean, there's still 2 outs recorded, and then 2 guys reach on base, and you got Tristan Pompey coming up now looking to drive in a run.
Well, Tristan Pompey, 2 home runs in his first game, but has none since. Pitches inside. However, he did have 2 hits yesterday. A good day overall in a day where the Gatemen hitters overall were not that good, but Pompey was probably the bright spot, going 2 for 3 with a walk and also a run scored. Outside corner on Pompey, 1-1.
Four for 12 in his last 3 games. Pompey is with a couple runs, a couple walks. He's been better as of late, especially with plate discipline.
A lot of SEC sluggers in this game, especially Pompey and Chandler Taylor. Pompey 10 home runs this year in the SEC. But more impressively, the leader in the whole conference in hits. And here's the pitch. Grounded to the first baseman. Julian Infante runs over to first and steps on the bag for the final out of the inning. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left for the Wareham Gatemen. On to the second inning. It is 0-0 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Listen to the game wherever you go with the Next Radio app. Catch this station's local broadcast or stream all the action right on your phone. Visit the Google Play Store and download the free Next Radio app today.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Friendly's Restaurants, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together 2 of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
Welcome back. Top half of the second inning. Heading into the box, Hunter Bishop. He's a lefty. You mentioned Miller Hogan, a lot better against righty batters because of those two off-speed pitches, the way they shape. Kind of that 11-5 curveball coming in from the inside part of the plate on those righties. On the lefty, that ball can look pretty enticing coming in towards the outside corner or the middle of the plate. And here is Hogan facing the lefty Hunter Bishop. Swing and a miss. Big hack at that changeup, 0-1. Way out in front. Kind of a backward start to this at-bat, throwing a first pitch changeup from Miller Hogan. Hunter Bishop, an Arizona State Sun Devil, swings and misses through that one. Oh, it's 0-2. Good start for Hogan in this inning already. Hunter Bishop, we talked about, athletes who can just play all these sports, basically the opposite of my high school career. 2015 Under Armour All-America game in baseball, but also a Western Catholic Athletic League champion in both baseball and football. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. The fastball gets Bishop looking, a backwards approach to that at-bat. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. You just mentioned a changeup, and then a fastball going to put away Hunter Bishop. Interesting approach from Hogan. It's working, though.
Hey, I like to see that. Usually start off with that fastball, but hey, mix it up. I don't care.
We'll see what Marty Costas has against Miller Hogan. Now he's a righty batter, swings at the first pitch, pops it up. Could be a play towards the Brewster dugout. And instead, it is made. The play is made by Robbie Metz at third base. That ball kind of curved back in towards the infield, and because of that, there's 2 down.
Well, we talk about the Gatemen offense being somewhat inconsistent this season. The pitching staff has been consistent. I mean, you look at the stats, they've got the 4th lowest team ERA, 5th in strikeouts, 2nd in walks, 3rd in runs let up. So, I mean, they have been very, very good. Miller Hogan is arguably your 3rd or 4th starter. He has been great this season, only let up 3 earned runs. I mean, he has been spectacular. Justin Montgomery, we talked about it at the top of the broadcast. His pitching staff is arguably one of the top 3 in the league.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about a team that's about, 7 or 8 in the league right now in terms of wins and losses, but the pitching has just been remarkable. I mean, just the starting pitching has been probably the best in the Cape Cod League.
That's the strength of this team, is the starting pitching. The bullpen, it's been good. It's not been as good as the starting pitching, but when you got your starters out there, you have 1 through 4, which is set, and you know what you're gonna get from them every night.
Yeah, you got Montgomery, Griffin Roberts. Interesting what Joey Matulovic will be doing later on in the season, because he was a starter in the first half of the year, but recently he's been a bullpen guy. So it'll be interesting to see what Jim Lawler does with Matulovic, the California Golden Bear. 2-0. Pitch taken upstairs, 3-0 now on Julian Infante. The 8-hitter in the box right now, the Vanderbilt Commodore, another SEC bat. Hit 11 home runs, so another SEC slugger at the plate. Really productive season this year for Vandy, a .315 average. In 62 games played. Loads up, but takes the pitch in there for a strike from Miller Hogan, 3-1. When I was bored after the home run derby last night, I was watching Aaron Judge, Brewster Whitecaps highlights. It was pretty fun.
I actually saw a video too on that.
It was pretty fun. His swing just looks so much different now in the MLB than it did when he was in Brewster just a few years ago. I believe it was 2013. And just crazy how much different. His line drive over the glove of Metz. He checks it, but it's not in there. Into left field. Rounding first, heading for second is Infante. The throw comes in, and he is gunned. Infante trying to stretch a single into a double, and Topa catches him on the throw in to Jaron Duran. The side is retired. 1-2, and then the hit, and then 3. On to the bottom half of the second. No runs, no hits, no error, or no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no men left to the bottom half. It's 0-0 between Brewster and Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We appreciate and thank the
sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the visiting team, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2017 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod, Cape Cod Potato Chips, Friendly's Ice Cream, Baseball Factory, Cape and Island License Plate, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5 Cents Saving Bank, Stop and Shop, Peapod. We'll be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
Nova Southeastern Shark and Jake Anchia is going to step in. Joe Molatier ran into some two-out trouble just as Miller Hogan did in the first inning, but got out of it with a ground out to first from Tristan Pompey. Here he is again. Pitch catches the outside corner, 0-1.
I got to say real quick, Pat Sparky Burns behind the plate, no doubt my favorite umpire here on the Cape.
Big call. Big, emphatic.
He lets you know when there's a strike.
I'd love to try to imitate it right now, but it wouldn't sound too good. Grounded foul by Anchia.
And he's called Sparky. That's great.
Yeah, that is great. He wants us to use that nickname for him any chance that we get, you know. So Pat Sparky Burns behind home plate today.
He's known around Cape baseball. He does high school games. I've seen him from my high school down here before, and he's introduced himself as Sparky.
I heard his kids actually call him Sparky as well.
Yeah.
Not confirmed. Anchia is the batter. He's down 0-2. You can see he has that open stance, that front foot, about halfway into the box. That one grounded off himself. I believe that one came up and hit his arm. Kind of an interesting bounce there off the plate. But Anchia this season, pretty interesting. We've only seen him at first base and catcher when he could be really playing anywhere in this. You do know that he could be playing anywhere on this diamond right now without problem. Maybe not the pitching position, but he's a guy that can play anywhere. Outfield as well, corner infields. Maybe not so much a middle infielder, but he can play in the outfield. And
it's just there's no room.
There's no room. Quan, Pompey, Topa,
and Dodson.
Dodson as well, yeah. Bonfield.
Who's not in the lineup today. We'll see if he comes out on the hill.
I'd say it's likely.
Probably.
Jake Anchia, 0-2. Molatier throws his glove up in front of his face. A big kick and delivers. Swing and a miss, chasing a pitch. Off-speed pitch out of the zone. Anchia down swinging. For one out in the second for the Gatemen, Luke Bonfield is next.
Did not see Bonfield yesterday. Got the day off. Maybe thought he would pinch hit in the later half of that game, but didn't end up doing so. Got the full day off.
Yeah, both McIver and Bonfield, two of the biggest, you could say power hitters, but there really just isn't that much power in this Gatemen lineup. But two of the biggest power hitters in the lineup getting this day off last night. Swing and a miss by Bonfield.
It'd be funny to see some of these guys have 22 home games at another ballpark that's smaller. See how many home runs they would hit. Go Fuller Field.
Yeah, go Fuller Field. I mean, you'd be like Marty Bakina out there.
Red Wilson Field in YD. I mean, there are some small ballparks here on the Cape.
Spillane, not one of them. 330 and right. I believe that's longer than the short porch. Or it's about the... Is it the same or is it longer? What's the short porch in Yankee Stadium? 314. So, 16 yards longer than Yankee Stadium.
315 down the left field line.
So you got the short porch and left. Swing and a miss by Bonfield. He went around on that pitch in the dirt. 1-2 pitch, and he's down swinging the second consecutive strikeout for Joe Molatier. Jaron Duran gets his first attempt of the game now.
And I can't wait to see the home run derby here. I mean, how many home runs are we going to see from the winner? I mean, that's going to be fantastic.
It'll be interesting, certainly. We saw yesterday a bomb from Shea Langoliers. I'm sure he'll be a contender for being in that home run derby.
I think the winner from 2 years ago here, Logan Sowers, hit 4. So that should give you a little indication of what you'd expect to see.
Advantage certainly on the side of the righty batters, though. Hitting towards that bullpen in left field is 16 feet shorter than the bullpen in right.
I believe Sowers was a lefty, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure.
Here's the 0-1 to Duran, outside, 1-1. Duran went 1 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 4 the day before, so trying to pick up his batting after some rough goes recently, chops it foul.
Yeah, he's taken a step back a little bit from when he first got here. I mean, when Quan comes in and takes your number 1 spot, you're bumped down. He was doing very, very well in that 8th spot for probably a week and a half stretch, and then we've seen him cool off a little bit, but still has the speed. Saw him beat out an infield single yesterday, I believe, or it was a close play at least.
It's good to have Duran where he is because he can get on base and then get the top of the order shortly after. Duran strikes out swinging. Molitier strikes out the side. An impressive start for him and the Brewster Whitecaps. Off to the 3rd. 0-0 between the Gatemen and the Whitecaps on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Continuing with our corporate sponsors, we also want to recognize and thank Franklin Sports, Advanced Embroidery, Cape Destinations, Robert B. R., Sullivan Tire, Vacation Inn Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate, Next Radio, Yellow Book, TSA, Rawlings, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, Highline Cruises, Sports Picks, On Deck Sports, Barnstable Bat, Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, HP Hood, Sunderland Printing, and Axis Bats. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians, expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care.
Third inning at Spillane Field. No score between Brewster and Wareham. Second meeting between these two teams this season. Brewster a 9-2 victory early on in the season. Very early on in the season, I believe.
January. June 22nd.
June 22nd down at Stony Brook Field. And notables from that game, a Chandler Taylor home run. That was in the 7th inning off of Blakely Brown, who's no longer here. Pitch is skied into the air. Going back is the shortstop. That's Kyle Kasser, and he squeezes it to make the play. One quick out for Miller Hogan in the 3rd inning.
Graffinino flew out on one pitch in the 1st. Same thing here with Nick Dunn.
Yeah, Nick Dunn up and down. Back to the dugout. He'll get ready to go out to second base for the bottom half of the 3rd, but he'll be waiting for A.J. Graffinino's second at-bat. Alongside his fellow Washington teammate, purple chest protector for Willie McIver, purple batting gloves for Graffinino, showing off that Husky pride in Seattle. 0-1 on that outside corner strike to Graffinino. Flew out to center back in the 1st. That was on the first pitch of the game. Now taking some time to dissect Miller Hogan, and that pitch was low, 1-1 on a fastball.
I'm a big fan of hitters swinging on the first pitch of the game. I think it's great.
Especially when you get a leadoff home run, and not only when it's a leadoff home run, but it's on the first pitch of the at-bat. Just a great thing to see. This one's popped up. You hear Graffinino in distress after that one, and It's over to the first baseman, and Chia gloves it in foul territory for the second out. 2 quick pop-ups off of Miller Hogan.
The right fielder, number 46, Chandler Taylor.
Out of 10 possible at-bats, there's been 4 flyouts so far, so it's working.
Hogan specialty, getting guys to get under that breaking ball and pop it up. Chandler Taylor struck out swinging back in the first, and here he is again. Takes a ball high, 1-0. Taylor, all SEC second team this year in 2017. 4th in the SEC in home runs with 16 of them. Behind former Brewster Whitecap Brent Rooker of the Minnesota Twins, draft pick this year.
Was he top 10? No. Did he go? What round did he go in?
He was I believe he was a late first round pick, maybe
so,
an early
yes.
second rounder. Also behind former Born Brave Greg Dykman. You saw him in the College World Series. Fouled away. Dykman also going to the MLB this year. Not exactly sure on which team. Taylor, the Montgomery, Alabama native, was also drafted this summer, but chose to come here and attend Alabama one more season. This one lined in the right field for a base hit. Taylor gets on, reaching out at that one and slapping it. A nice pull stroke there from Chandler Taylor to get his 12th hit of the season.
3rd time in a row here in this game that Hogan's recorded the first 2 outs and then let up the next hitter on base.
Interesting pattern to Miller Hogan's start so far. And this guy is not a guy that he wanted to face with a guy on base when he could have been out of the inning after Chandler Taylor. It's Mickey Gasper. Gasper, a teammate of Nick Angelini at Bryant University, the lefty, following up another lefty in Chandler Taylor. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Good fastball from Hogan.
When you talk about Brent Rooker, an alumnus here for the Brewster Whitecaps, he was the Collegiate Baseball National Player of the Year this year and drafted 35th overall by the Twins.
He was unreal, and that Mississippi State team could have done a lot if they hadn't gotten such a tough draw in that first, in the Super Regional. They had to play LSU in the Super Regional right after they got out into the, and that snap throw back to first from MacGyver, but it bounces before it gets to Anchia. Good job by Anchia at first to make sure it doesn't get by him.
Rooker, I think, was an all-star last year in the Cape League.
Doesn't surprise me at all. He's a beast. And for a first round that was so heavy on pitchers, it's pretty impressive where he went in the draft as well. Grounded foul by Gasper. Walked in the first, reached second on a single by Michael Curry, but was stranded there by Kyle Datris. Gasper is leading this team in almost every possible category. Batting average, on base percentage, hits, doubles, home runs, and RBIs. Mickey Gasper. 21 RBIs on the season so far. Throw over to first, not in time.
It's the second most in the league. I mean, this guy is driving in a lot of runs.
It's impressive stuff out of the Northeast Conference. Spent last summer with the Nashua Silver Knights in the Futures League up in southern New Hampshire. 421 average. So he's no stranger to being elite in the summer leagues. 421, 42 RBIs in 48 games for the Silver Knights in 2016. Now, probably not going to match a 412 average, but I'm sure he'd be happy with where he stands right now. They got Taylor in the rundown. They throw to second, and he is out. The side is retired. Chandler Taylor caught sleeping between first and second, and he's down. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no men left on base. On to the bottom half of the third. The Gatemen trying to strike first in a 0-0 game on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians, expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Welcome back, Robbie Metz, stepping in for his first at-bat of the game, the only Gateman hitter yet to see Joe Molitier as he struck out the side in the second. That's strikeouts 2, 3, 4 for him.
Swinging, all swinging as well. It was that sweeping breaking ball fooling those hitters for the Gatemen.
Robbie Metz, the George Washington Colonial, swings and misses.
There it is again.
Yeah. Metz had a teammate on this Gateman team earlier this season. It was Nate Fosnot, but unfortunately an injury eventually resulted in him heading home. Swing and a miss, 0-2. But George Washington is basically a farm system for the Wareham Gatemen, or the other way around. Joey Bartosik last year, Robbie Metz this year, and Nate Fosnot this year. Those are the three top guys in that George Washington lineup in batting average, and they were all above 330 this year.
Bartosik gets drafted this year too.
Yeah, anytime you have three guys above 330 in your batting order, it's slaps it out to right. Coming on is the right fielder, Taylor, and he makes the grab. That one floated up there a little bit too long for Robbie Metz, and there's one out in the third.
Yep, Bartosik goes to the Rockies. We know the history with Don Sned and Jerry Weinstein, former coach here for Wareham with the Rockies.
Yeah, basically like an everyday scouting for Jerry Weinstein of Bartosik, and I'm sure he put in a good word to the rest of the scouts and the rest of the organization. Stephen Kwan, 1-0. He struck out looking back in the first. He was already taking first on a walk before an emphatic punch-out from Pat Sparky Burns at home plate. That pitch is low, 2-0. Kwan waiting on a 2-0, takes it high, 3-0. Stephen Kwan is .444 this season. There's strike one on the 3-0 pitch. Taking all the way was Kwan, and now Molitier trying to get back into this count. In their turquoise jerseys. Slapped out to deep center field. On the run is Bishop, and he makes the play in deep center field. That's about as far as we've seen Stephen Kwan hit the ball this year. He made good contact. Just unfortunately for him, it's Spillane Field.
Yeah, good contact, probably around 400 feet. Need 12 more to get out there. To at least hit the wall even, not even get it over. Talk about the height and the distance.
So two flyouts from the Gateman order leave Kyle Kasser at home plate. The lefty versus righty matchup. Kasser on the first pitch, swinging away, grounds it to the first baseman, Julian Infante, who steps on the bag. Side retired in the third inning. And we will send it to break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. It's 0-0.
Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back. I'm Claudia Chakamian with the Gatemen starting pitcher, Miller Hogan's family. Welcome. I'm here with Miller Hogan's aunt, uncle, and cousin. So welcome to Splain Field, guys.
Thank you. Thanks. Glad to be here.
So you guys are from all over, St. Louis, Chicago, Nashville. So what made you guys decide to come here today?
We're here to see Miller, but we've been coming to the Cape for 40 years. So dream come true to see one of our relatives out on the field.
Yeah, so what is it like, you get to see him start, so what is it like to see this happen?
Unbelievable. I think my father's probably moved to tears, as is my husband. We're big St. Louis Cardinals fans. Woohoo!
So what has it been like getting to support him and see him grow throughout his entire career?
It's been really amazing to watch him come into his own. He's really an intense, focused player, and he is living the dream. He's loving this. It's a great experience.
So you guys are from St. Louis where he plays, so how often did you get to see him get to play at school?
We've been really blessed because he's going to St. Louis University and he lives in Kansas City, so he's literally within 15 minutes of the majority of his family. So we get down there as many weekends as we can to watch all the in-town games, and his grandparents don't miss a thing.
So how embarrassed do you think he is that you guys are cheering for him and doing this interview?
He's mortified, mortified.
Well, thank you guys for your time. It's been great getting to know you guys, and I hope you enjoy.
Say one more thing. Hey, Boston, his name's Miller, not Milla.
I have not said that. I do not have a Boston accent. So.
It's Milla. It's Milla.
It was great to meet you guys, and happy birthday to Miller's cousin. And enjoy the rest of your time here.
Thanks so much.
Back to you guys.
Wow, that was awesome. I mean,
Miller.
Miller. No, I've been saying Miller, I feel like.
We have to. I mean, yeah.
I'm going to have to talk to them after the game. I hope I can get an MIZZOU from those St. Louis natives, but maybe some KU fans as well, with Miller Hogan being from the Kansas side of the Kansas City suburbs. That pitch outside, 2-1. The batter to lead off this inning right now is Mickey Gasper. His at-bat was cut short back in the third after Chandler Taylor was caught stranded between first and second. Gasper drives this one to deep right field. Heading back is Pompey. He's at the track, leaps and makes the play. What a play by Tristan Pompey. Jumping and making the grab at the top of the wall. And there's one out in the fourth inning. Gasper is stunned. He heads back to the dugout.
You got to be kidding me, right? His debut in right field? Are you kidding?
That's the first ball that's gone out there, too. So,
wow.
Pretty cool stuff for Pompey.
Nice play.
That's not a very comfortable wall either. That's a fence. That's not like one of those padded walls you see in the MLB.
No,
that is a wire fence, and he just made a beautiful grab at the track, at the top of the wall.
That has to be sent into SportsCenter Top 10. It has to. We got to cut that tonight.
We will. I mean, it's really hard to get those into SportsCenter Top 10 because the game ends at the time it ends, but maybe.
That should be your first priority tonight.
It will be my first priority tonight. How about that? 0-1 is the count to Michael Curry. He is 1 for 1 with a single back in the first inning. Fouls this one straight back over the John H. Wild press box, and it's 0-2.
I mean, that's what everyone's been, expecting, waiting to see, is that type of athleticism from Pompey. He's got the hops. We talked a couple days ago about him playing basketball in high school. He's got those hops, so he's been used to doing that sort of thing, but what a catch.
Awesome stuff from the Kentucky Wildcat. It's another SEC East player in the box right now. Michael Curry takes a ball on a breaking ball inside, 2-1. Curry, a Georgia Bulldog. .297 this season. Over a hit per game, 65 hits, 57 games. And he was the All-SEC first-team designated hitter this year. This one's driven out to deep left. If it's fair, it's probably gone. It's a foul ball.
Yeah, that one went way foul, but no doubt about it, Sam. You were right. That was going to be long gone if it was fair.
Tough to see down that left field line with that netting over there.
It's at least 400 feet.
Was that netting in front of the visiting broadcast booth there before? Because I thought Tristan Pompey's bat went straight into there the other day.
It was there.
Okay.
Or else they would be very unsafe.
Grounder down the third baseline goes foul.
Wow.
Curry's still in the box.
Curry, we've seen he juices it to left out of play, but see Gasper juice it to right. No relation to Steph Curry, had to say it.
Yes, of course. No relation to Seth Curry either, the better of the two.
Oh.
Just kidding, he's not. 2-2. Lined into center field. It's probably going to drop for a base hit. It goes into the gap and will roll all the way to the wall. Fielding is Kwan. Into second with a stand-up double is Michael Curry. And there's a runner in scoring position for the Brewster Whitecaps for the second time today, the first time since the first inning.
Well, this time Hogan retires the first batter, not the first two, and then lets up either a base hit or a walk. Well, that double was smoked out there to left center field.
Yeah, good piece of hitting by Curry. Hitting .286 thus far, and now with 2 for 2. He's now 16 for 51 so far this year. Kyle Datris is the batter. Another righty, number 3 in those turquoise uniforms for Brewster. Might be the boldest uniforms in the Cape League.
I was going to say, how do you like them?
I like them. I like them more than their home jerseys. The ones with the white homes with the turquoise and navy sleeves. I think I like these better. They're bold, but they remind me of the San Jose Sharks a little bit.
That is very true.
1-0. Seattle Mariners as well.
Maybe even more comparable Seattle Mariners.
Yes, and I wish Seattle would honestly wear that color more often. Usually they're wearing the white and the grays. And sometimes even navy for them. 1-0, Datris. In there for a strike to the UNC Tar Heel. Another quarterback in high school on this team. And a lot of athletes in his family as well. His mom was an undefeated college tennis player. So that's pretty cool stuff. I mean, it runs in the family. All-state quarterback, also obviously a very good baseball player here on the Cape League, and also plays for one of the best schools in the ACC. Time is called. Looked like it was the hitter that initiated that timeout, and Datris.
You know when time's called at the plate, because you got Pat Sparky Burns behind there.
That emphatic timeout. Here's the pitch in the stretch, swing and a miss. Tipped into the glove of McIver. It's 1-2 on Datris.
Might have been that changeup there from Miller Hogan.
Certainly has been the go-to today, it seems, the changeup. He also has that curveball. We'll see what he has in the bag for a really good hitter at the plate right now. A hitter who played for a team that made the ACC tournament semifinals. Grounded foul down the third baseline. That one almost hit the bag, but just goes foul past Robbie Metz, and still 1-2. Datris hits .265 for the Tar Heels this year. Overall, a pretty disappointing ending to the season for North Carolina, losing to Florida State in that ACC tournament and not doing as much as they would have liked in the College World Series.
Teammate of Austin Bergner, who we saw last night start for the Chatham Anglers.
A lot of UNC Tar Heels on the Cape.
Good team this year,
this season. 1-2 outside, 2-2. Miller Hogan trying to settle in here with a runner in scoring position, 1 out in the 4th inning. Good hitter at the plate is Kyle Datris. He's hitting .258 so far this year. No home runs, but 3 RBIs to go along with 4 extra base hits for Datris. Yeah, North Carolina hosted a regional this year, but never got out of it. It was the Davidson Wildcats that eventually emerged from that Chapel Hill regional in a grouping with Michigan and Florida Gulf Coast as well. The 2-2 fouled off the leg of Datris, and he's really shaken up, holding his knee, rubbing it off, but that's painful. And he's still taking some time, and that'll give McIver an opportunity to talk it out with Miller Hogan.
Yeah, right off that left knee, it seemed. Hit him in the box. Do a little walk around home plate. Nice time here for McIver to go out to talk to his pitcher, though.
Certainly. In a time where it's his first actual threat with less than 2 outs this game. Of course, they've had some threats, but there's been 2 outs every time. And it seems that in games like this, where the starting pitching is doing this well, it's the hitting that's just not, providing the run support. And that's the case so far today. We're through 3.5. The Gatemen still haven't batted in the 4th, but it's a 0-0 game, in a game where Miller Hogan's been really impressive. The Gatemen coming into today 10-13-1, 4th in the West Division, ahead of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who are just 1 game behind. Their game was canceled today at home against the Falmouth Commodores because of rain. Here's a 2-2. Low in the dirt. McIver has the ball. He throws to first. He got him. Michael Curry is gunned, trying to take third on a wild pitch, but McIver does a great job.
Put a star next to that one.
And the bases are empty now. What do you think? Do you think that was good base running, or do you think that was bad base running by Michael Curry?
I'd say bad base running. The ball was not out of the dirt over there at home plate. Wasn't even on the grass, and McIver with his arm, perfect throw right to the bag, in front of the bag. All Metz had to do was catch it, and his glove was right there to put the tag on the runner.
This one lined foul down the third base line. Datris staying alive in this full count.
And it helps now because there are 2 outs, so now you look for maybe an off-speed pitch here to fool Datris to get out of the inning.
Datris trying to adjust to the situation now with Miller Hogan in the windup instead of the stretch. Earlier in this at-bat, it was the stretch. Could be advantage towards the pitcher because of that. Has to kind of change his vision towards the pitcher. Here's the pitch. It's low, and Datris works a walk on that pitch in the dirt. That is walk number 2 for Miller Hogan today, the first since the first inning.
Yeah, you talk about the Gatemen and run support being an issue. Definitely the past couple of days. I mean, Griffin Roberts pitches so well. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. Gets, no run support in that game. Justin Montgomery, 4 innings, 5 strikeouts versus YD. No run support. So it's just about getting your pitcher, runs early on in the ball game. Even in the Wareham-Falmouth tie, Wareham gets 4 runs in the top of the second. Although Culbertson didn't pitch well, that's still a lot of run support for him. That game was back and forth, too. So it's all about getting your pitcher early on, saying, I have your back. We're going to get some runs for you.
Called strike on Hunter Bishop. 0-1. Saw Bishop's speed get tested on a long fly ball out to center field from Stephen Kwan. You don't really see from this angle how far they have to run. Throw over to first, not in time, but they have to cover tons of ground out there in center field, especially when they're mid-range to shallow, and they're way back. We saw it yesterday, Stephen Kwan chasing down that Langoliers home run. He went for a long way. Runner goes, pitches a strike. Throw down to second is low. It goes into center field, but scooped up by Stephen Kwan. Moving no further than second is Kyle Datris, another runner in scoring position for the Brewster Whitecaps.
If that throw is on line, it was a little bit to the left of the bag. If that was on line, that would have been a no-doubter end of the inning play there by McIver. But Datris gets in there safely because the throw was a little bit off to that left side.
But it was a strike, a good pitch from Miller Hogan, a fastball. And now down in the count is Hunter Bishop. It's 0-2. We'll see what Hogan does in the stretch. Looks back the runner and throws toward the plate outside on a fastball, 1-2.
With only one ball, I do not expect a fastball. Maybe that changeup, just one strike away from getting out of this inning.
The Arizona State Sun Devil, the Palo Alto, California native, is going to wait because Miller Hogan looks back at Kyle Datris at second base. Hunter Bishop was drafted by the San Diego Padres in 2016 before attending college. 1-2, fouled right off the glove of MacIver and back behind home plate. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. One thing that Hunter Bishop would like to work on here on the Cape, he struck out a lot of times with the Sun Devils this season. Arizona State was about middle of the pack in the Pac-12, one of the best baseball conferences around. 1-2, here's the pitch. Inside, a check over to the second base umpire right now, which is Ronaldo Cochran, excuse me. And he did not go. 2-2.
Off speed here again.
Here it is, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball. Fools Jacob Toby. Fools Hunter Bishop. And the side is retired. Another strikeout for Miller Hogan, brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. To the bottom of the fourth, it's no score on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Welcome back. Halfway, not quite halfway, never mind, that's next inning. Bottom of the fourth inning. Gatemen trying to strike first still in this game. MacIver, Topa, Pompey due up.
It is a great night for baseball. We thought maybe the game would be rained out, but no chance. It stopped raining at about 12 p.m. The sun was out for most of the day. Lights are on here at Spillane. It's Jimmy Buffett night, playing Brown Eyed Girl, which isn't even his song. It's Van Morrison's song, but still, great song.
Larry doesn't like to cooperate with the theme of the night. First pitch is a bunt, and it gets down a perfectly placed ball by MacIver, and he's on first with a single. MacIver with a nice play. As a catcher, as a three hitter, as one of the biggest power hitters, there's no way the Brewster Whitecaps were expecting that.
No, but he has the speed. We talked about it before. Go back for a second. Were you talking to Larry over there about his music selection?
I was saying he doesn't like to obey the theme of the night.
That is the theme of the night, though. It was Jimmy Buffett.
Well, I remember on Country Night, he was like, Country Night. Foul ball. Oh, actually, it hit John Topa in the shoulder, excuse me. And now he's down to first, so a lot of trouble quickly in this inning for Joe Molitier. Not exactly in the most, the typical way that you get two men on in the beginning of an inning here, but a single and a hit by pitch.
This is not the script that he's been used to so far in this game. He struck out the side in the second, retired 3 straight in the third. Comes up here, lets up bunt single, and then a hit by pitch.
Pompey shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike on the outside corner, 2-seam fastball from Molitier.
Yeah, before this inning, it was 7 straight retired, so losing control a little bit here.
Pompey grounded to first in the first inning. Topa still 1 for 1, so is MacIver. Grounded sharply to the second baseman. He bobbles it, and he goes to first for the easy out, but some shaky defense by Nick Dunn at second base allows 2 runners to advance to scoring position, so that play kind of works like a sacrifice bunt for Tristan Pompey.
Yeah,
not
basically.
Exactly what he was trying, or not exactly what should have happened if Nick Dunn had fielded that cleanly, but I'm sure after all those bobbles, Nick Dunn's fine getting that one out at first.
Yeah, that was probably a double play ball. But nonetheless, Gatemen will take it. 2 runners in scoring position here with Anchia at the plate.
Jake Anchia, the righty, struck out swinging back in the second. So did the next 2 batters, Bonfield and Duran.
And if you're not going to hit home runs, which this Gatemen team really doesn't do, that's what you look for. You look for, you don't obviously search for errors all the time, but if you're going to get one, you'll take it and you'll make your dues with it.
Absolutely. Fly ball to the outfield, likely scores a speedy McIver. Line drive, not caught, on to first in time, but McIver scores. Jake Anchia with an RBI ground out to shortstop. Graffinino almost makes the catch, but not able to. Just a short hop and then makes the safe play over to first. McIver recognized it immediately, headed home. That could have been a dangerous play had it been caught. You never know if McIver was, sleeping off at third base a little bit.
Yeah, nice. That's a nice call by Ronaldo Cockrum over there in the infield. You could see the dirt kind of pick up from Graffinino's glove, signaling that it wasn't caught right out of the air.
So McIver gets on with a bunt single, gets moved to second by Topa's hit by pitch, gets moved to third by Pompey's ground out, and gets moved home by an RBI ground out 6-3 from Jake Anchia. 1-0 Gatemen in the 4th.
Not the most conventional way to get around the base paths.
Luke Bonfield's the batter. By the way, John Topa remained at second base. You can see him on the camera on that last ground ball. Bonfield fouls it back right, stays in the circle. Counts 0-2 on the Arkansas Razorback. Bonfield 193 thus far. 11 for 57 with 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Takes a ball outside. 1-2 runner in scoring position is the cleanup hitter, John Topa. Topa is second on the Gatemen with 13 runs scored behind Willie McIver, who has 17. Swing and a miss by Bonfield, and they let him go over to first base to retire the side. But the Gatemen strike first, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left to the 5th. It's 1-0 Wareham over Brewster on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu. It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
welcome back. It's the 5th inning, top half, and Marty Costas is the batter. Bottom 3 of this Brewster Whitecaps order due up. The 5th inning, Costas, Infante, and Dunn. And Marty Costas is a left-handed batter. Excuse me, a right-handed batter. Miller Hogan still on the mound, breaking ball low and outside, 1-0. Costas is a Terp. That's a Maryland Terp. Drafted this year by the Houston Astros in round 25. But he'll be going back to Maryland next year. He fouls it away. Counts 1-1. Costas, .322 for Maryland this year, a 2016 Louisville Slugger freshman All-American. You know, I feel like there are a ton of those. I feel like there are just a lot of Louisville Slugger freshman All-Americans.
Well, those are the players that are the best, and the best players are here.
I guess, but I don't know. How many are there, though? I mean, there's got to be at least 20 or 30 on the Cape alone.
Yeah, no idea, but every guy you look up, it seems to be that they've won or been named to that team.
Swing and a miss on a changeup. It's 2-2. Costas is a Baltimore native. 2016 Big Ten All-Freshman team, in addition to that Louisville Slugger freshman All-American we just mentioned. Stepped up this season to a .322 average for the Terps. Outside, just barely from Miller Hogan. Wants that one. He looks like he really did want that one after that, grabbing that ball out of midair. Ready's a full count now against the righty Marty Costas. Swing and a miss. Change up, catches Costas down, swinging strikeout number 4 for Miller Hogan, presented by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Miller Hogan's been outstanding. I mean, he's given up a hit every inning, but it's kind of been the damage control that's been the most impressive part about him.
Yeah, he fights back after the 2 outs that he lets up a runner on base, or in case the last inning after 1 out. But he's got some nice defense backing him today, and he's got those strikeouts working. Like I said, those off-speed pitches are what's making him so good right now.
Changeup has been the go-to, it seems, especially versus these righties. Fouled away.
And you know why it's so good is because his fastball command is there. And, you know, he's hit 90 tonight a couple times. So velocity not, you know, a big part of his game, but it's been there tonight.
Julian Infante is 1 for 1. He was thrown out at second base after he got that single by John Topa. He was trying to stretch it into a double and didn't work out for the Vanderbilt Commodore. Swing and a miss. Another one of those powerful SEC hitters in this lineup. Chandler Taylor the other. 11 home runs, a .315 average for Infante at Vanderbilt. When you look at the averages in college from these Brewster Whitecaps players, they're really high. I mean, the Gatemen have a few hitters that hit over 300 this year at college, but it seems like the Whitecaps, every single one of their guys was an over 300 hitter at college. Time is called by Pat Burns at home plate.
Yet their offense this year has just been subpar at best. They do have the fifth most runs in the league, but they strike out the 5th most times. They don't really steal bases that much. Their batting average is 8th. And it's funny because last summer they had no doubt the best offense in the league, and it wasn't even a question. We talked about Brent Rooker.
They have a lot of returners,
Nick Dunn
too.
Was an all-star as well. Obviously, it doesn't carry over from year to year here on the Cape, but it's just funny to look at the comparisons.
Yeah, Julian Infante played here last year as well.
Yep.
Swing and a miss. Another swinging strikeout for Miller Hogan. That's number 5 on the day. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard.
3rd straight night that a Gatemen pitcher has thrown at least 5 strikeouts.
Griffin Roberts with that slider yesterday.
With the 7, yep. And then Montgomery with 5 the night before.
Still some work to do. It's Nick Dunn. Just mentioned he was a Cape League All-Star back in 2016. That pitch in there for a strike comes off the outside part of the plate and paints the middle. 0-1 on Dunn.
These pitching staffs coming into tonight were pretty similar statistics-wise.
Interesting considering the Gatemen pitching staff seems to be an above-average pitching staff this year. It just seems to be the same story with these two teams. Really good pitching. Hitting hasn't been where they want it to be.
And they've been similar. They've had similar playing styles the whole season. They've either sat third or fourth in the division.
Grounded to second. Duran plays it on a hop and fires to Jake Anchia for the final out of the 5th inning. 2 strikeouts added to the resume of Miller Hogan. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no men left. Halfway home here in Wareham. Gatemen coming to bat on the Gatemen Baseball Network. It's 1-0.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community. The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Mr. Brian Clue and Smartco Services LLC located in Taunton, Massachusetts for being the official sponsors of the Gatemen Player Development Program. The Player Development Program aims to improve both the players' and interns' skills and prepares them for a career in professional baseball. Again, a sincere thank you to Mr. Brian Clue and Smartco Services. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Welcome back. Bottom half of the 5th inning.
Good day to you, sir.
Certainly is.
Top of the morning.
Top of the evening here.
If we were in the top of an inning, that would have been great. So I should have saved that for next inning.
It's amazing. The summer, 7:49 p.m. It's not even close to dark out right now. It's great.
Should go to Madrid. It doesn't get dark till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
You should go to Edmonton in the summer. In Edmonton, it doesn't get dark till about maybe a little bit later than that. I mean, Fort McMurray, Alberta, home of the oil country, the oil capital of North America, is long days up there in Fort McMurray. The batter is Jaron Duran. He's down an 0-1 count, and he drives this one opposite field into left. Costas on the run, and he leaps and makes the catch. Duran gave it a ride, but a little bit too much airtime under that one for the Long Beach State dirtbag. And he's the first out of this 5th inning.
So when you're a Major League announcer, Sam, or NHL, as you would love to do, your off season, you should be a teacher. Be a history teacher, geography teacher, something like that.
Yeah, I can't do history because I'm not that good at history, but geography certainly is on my radar.
So is that what, 5th, 6th grade, something like that? 4th? Is it all through? Is it K through something like that, or
what,
is it
for geography?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Grounded to the short. Graffanino over to first in time to beat Robbie Metz. 2 quick outs for Joe Mulletier. He's been really good. Despite that 1 run in the 4th inning, it was just a single and a hit by pitch. That was the only lapse for Mulletier. It was the ground out and some bad defense from Pompey that allowed that inning to kind of get to where it got. And it was another ground out from Anchia that scored the run.
Yeah, he's retired 5 straight. And it's safe to say that tonight is a pitcher's duel.
Certainly. We'll see what the bullpens have to offer for both these teams, 0-1.
It was a pitcher's duel last night until the 8th inning.
Mm-hmm. In a 2-2 game between the Chatham Anglers and the Gatemen, both pitchers, Griffin Roberts and the UNC Tar Heel Austin Bergner, pitched pretty impressively. Only 1 strikeout for Bergner in his 6 innings.
They both went 6, though.
Yes.
Which was great to see.
And Bergner was relieved by a fellow Tar Heel, Rodney Hutchinson Jr. So many North Carolina Tar Heels up here. Popped up by Stephen Kwan. And the shortstop, Graffanino, makes the play to retire the side.
In the bottom of the 5th inning.
To the 6th we go. It's 1-0 Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
All-Star Game Weekend starts with the Celebrity Softball Game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Veritek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Top half of the 6th inning here in Wareham. A new pitcher for the Gatemen, it's Tanner Dodson.
Yeah, Tanner Dodson not in the lineup tonight. He is going to be on the mound, as you see there. The two-way player out of Cal, and he's been pretty impressive. He struggled in his last outing. He had a couple earned runs, but coming in with a 7-0 lead is pretty tough because your mindset's a little bit different, but he got to work on his off-speed stuff, which was good to see, and that's been the knock on him coming in, is can he have his secondary pitches working for him? We know he throws 95 on the gun. Can he get some control in there?
Dodson delivers that fastball outside corner for a strike. The batter is the leadoff guy, A.J. Graffinino. I love saying that name. It's a great name, and it's been in baseball for quite some time. A.J. Graffinino's father, a former MLB player, Tony Graffinino, played in the MLB from 97 to 07. Part of those 90s Braves, those late 90s Braves teams that were so good. His son, A.J., grounds it to short. Over to first, just beats Graffinino from Kyle Kasser, the shortstop. 1 out in the 6th. But his father, Tony, wasn't a part of that Braves World Series team in 95, but he was a part of the, the 99 team that, all those 90s Braves teams, of course, they won a ridiculous amount of division titles in the NL East for so many years in a row. Bobby Cox, just a legendary coach down there in Atlanta. Well, Tony Graffinino, the father of a player on the Brewster Whitecaps, you just saw him, was a part of those Braves teams.
And you talk about Miller Hogan tonight. 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. 73 pitches total, 47 strikes. So he was very, very impressive tonight.
And despite that, it's just a 1-0 game, and this guy can tie the game up with one swing of the bat. It's a 2-0 count. Sharp ground ball to short. Kasser again. Big throw to Anchia for the 2nd out.
And getting word that Tanner Dodson will replace Luke Bonfield in the lineup at the DH spot. So Bonfield tonight is done. He struck out twice swinging. Dodson will bat 7th in the lineup. We won't probably see him next inning, but for sure if the Gatemen can get something going in the bottom of the 6th, we will.
Awesome stuff. Seeing Tanner Dodson get to play some National League ball, getting into the lineup.
It makes sense. Why not? He's been hot on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. 2 outs. Showing bunt, pulling it back for a strike is Mickey Gasper. 0-1. Gasper, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs, takes a strike again on the fastball. Impressive showing from Dodson so far. The California Golden Bear kicks, delivers outside on a fastball, 1-2. Dodson with a 5.37 ERA this year at Cal. Outside, McIver reaches out and grabs it, 2-2. Gatemen up 1-0. First breaking ball of the day for Dodson is fouled away.
That foul ball courtesy of attorney Glenn Hannington and his daughter
Showing
Kevin.
something a little bit different to Mickey Gasper after he worked a pretty long count, and now we'll see what Dodson goes back to. It's probably going to be that heater.
I'm done guessing pitches tonight.
Here it is, the 2-2. It is the heater, and it's fouled away down the left field line, right over the porta potties on the third base side. Here's the pitch, 2-2. Fouled away, a little bit higher this time, but over in the same spot on the third base side. Out of play, 2-2 still.
My favorite part about Dodson is that he works pretty quickly. Wants to deliver the pitch in a timely fashion.
And it's because he knows what pitch he's going to almost every time. Here's the 2-2. That time was the breaking ball.
That's a good pitch.
It is. That was
on a 2-2 count.
It was a good breaking ball. Low in the dirt. Good job by Gasper to lay off. And now here it is again. Fastball low. Walk to Gasper. Dodson is firing him in one after another. And now he's got to work from the stretch with Michael Curry at the plate. Brewster 12-11-1 coming into today. One game behind the Whitey Red Sox for second place in the East Division. But they've won 4 of their last 5. Strike on the outside corner. And because of that, they were able to, distance themselves from Chatham a little bit. But Chatham's been playing well with that win yesterday. They're now 11-13 on the season, so they're not too far behind Brewster. Grounder, tough play at short for Kasser. Can he get over to first in time? Big hop, not in time because Anchia bobbled it. And now a runner in scoring position. Gasper gets the second on that play. Curry's on first, and Kyle Datris with a chance against Dodson.
That'll be a single.
Looks like it was ruled a hit on the scoreboard.
The third baseman, number 3, Kyle Datris from North Carolina.
It's funny that in Miller Hogan's last start, the Gatemen won 13-2. Ever since then, there have been 3 games, and they've had to grind for each one of them. And it's been tough. But tonight is another grinder. It's only a 1-0 lead here.
Here's the pitch outside to Datris. 1-0 on him. Dodson trying to work out of this little jam he's put himself into with 2 outs. That walk to Gasper had to be frustrating considering he was ahead in the count. Was working pretty quickly and just wasn't able to get the corners. That one's in there for a strike, 1-1. Datris is 0 for 1 with a stolen base today. A walk back in the 4th put him on. But he was left there on a strikeout by the guy behind him on deck. Just to his left, it's Hunter Bishop. Inside on a fastball, 2-1. I love watching Dodson pitch as well because it's so easy to detect which pitch he's throwing. Sometimes with Hogan, it's tough, change up or fastball.
Him and Jaron Duran going over signs after every pitch, too.
Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Hacking through that one was Datris, the number 3 in turquoise for the Whitecaps. The rising junior trying to put together a big hit right here. Gasper on second base. Just 2 bases away from tying this game. Called, swung on and missed, strikeout, swinging. Tanner Dodson, his first strikeout of the game. The Gatemen get out of a jam, 2 men left on base to the bottom half of the 6th. It is 1-0 Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome. It's the 6th inning here in Wareham. 1-0, the Gatemen on top. A good job by Tanner Dotson getting out of a small jam in the top half of the inning. And now Kyle Kasser leads off for the Gatemen in the bottom half. Wearing 13 in white. Kasser, the Oregon Duck, hit .311 up to this point in his career at Oregon in 3 seasons up there. Strike one, call on the corner, 0-1. Still Joe Mulletier here in the 6th inning for the Brewster Whitecaps. He's done a good job. 5 strikeouts, and that one's foul. 5 strikeouts, only 2 hits allowed. But unfortunately, the hit by pitch to John Topa allowed McIver to advance to scoring position and some bad defense, and ultimately it led to a run being scored for the Gatemen back in the 4th. Kasser lines it back up the middle. Coming on as the second baseman Dunn over to first to beat Kasser. Good play, as that ball just did not have enough steam on it to get through the infield.
The catcher, number 17, Willie McIver.
Kasser's 0 for 3. McIver in the box. He is 1 for 1 on the day. That hit back in the 4th was hit number 30 for him on the season. Most for the Gatemen. McIver takes outside from Mulletier, 1-0.
I mean, McIver is just a stat sheet stuffer, some would call him. It's more of a basketball term, but I'll bring it over for baseball. I know you bring your hockey over.
Yeah. I mean, technically he's been doing that.
I mean, listen to this. Coming into tonight, 2nd in stolen bases.
In the whole league?
In the whole league. Now 4th in hits because of his 30.
2-1 after a pitch in the dirt.
Coming into tonight, tied 11th in batting average, 8th in RBIs, and 5th in runs scored.
He's just been the guy for the Gatemen. You know, when you look at the categories for hitting stats, he's the guy at the top of the list most times. Of course, Tanner Dotson in batting average, if he still qualifies.
Which he does. Sitting at 389. Was at 412, I believe.
John Topa got up to 380 at one point, 374. And kind of fell back down his last few games. He's at 342 right now. McIver swung and missed. It's now 3-2. Tough game for the Brewster Whitecaps offense as well. I mentioned the Gatemen had a lot of trouble against the Chatham pitching staff. Here's the 3-2. Fouled away. McIver staying alive in a full count against Mulletier. Brewster lost 4-0 to YD on the road yesterday at Red Wilson Field. Pretty crazy that the Gatemen still haven't been to Red Wilson Field this year.
Is that the only field you haven't experienced yet in your rookie season?
Only field I haven't experienced at the Cape. In the dirt, McIver works a walk. He's still 1 for 1. He's been on base all 3 times today.
It's a nice field. I like it. Red Wilson Field.
It's in Yarmouth, right? Not Dennis.
Yes.
Okay.
At DY High School.
Yes.
Not YD High School.
Crazy stuff. John Topa, the batter, with a runner on first. McIver on for the 3rd consecutive time today. He's been moved into scoring position both times. He's scored once in the 4th. Just always producing for the middle of this lineup, and John Topa's been a guy that's been able to move him over, or move other guys over, and get on himself and score a lot of runs. We mentioned he's 2nd on the team in runs scored. It's 0-1 on a pitch that was on the outside corner. 1 out in the 6th inning, a 1-0 Gatemen lead. Thank you for joining the broadcast here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Jacob Toby is alongside me. I'm Sam Corman. That one fouled away. 0-2.
It's been just us two tonight. Last night we were a busy booth. I don't know if you heard. We had a couple guests.
Yes.
We had Tom Crane, who leads the All-Star game coordination here for the Wareham Gatemen, amongst other things, head of security. We had another special guest, John Garner, Director of Broadcasting for the Cape League.
It's awesome.
We also had Claudia Chikamian, our sideline reporter, fill in as color for a little bit.
Cool stuff. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Topa down swinging. That's his first strikeout of the game. That's strikeout number 6 for Molatier today.
And the Gatemen Baseball Network has been lucky to have a string of interviews these past couple of games. We had Frankie Polari from D1 Baseball Saturday at the Falmouth game.
I got to interview Cooper Ferris back in Cotuit last week, former Gateman head coach. That was a good time.
And he's been around after that since here a couple times watching the Gatemen play.
Runner goes outside corner and not even close. McIver steals 2nd easily. That pitch was outside on the corner. Pompey's not going to like that call. That's stolen base number 11 for McIver this year.
Nice job there. Was not even close.
And now here comes Jamie Shevchik out to the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps to check on his pitcher. And in the 6th, this could very well be the change. Rubbing the ball is Molatier.
Well, let's talk about something.
The Jeopardy music is really fitting for this because we don't know if there's going to be a call to the bullpen yet. There is a guy warming up out there for Brewster.
Well, a couple of days ago when the Gatemen played YD, head coach Scott Pickler loved to prolong the process, go out to the mound, talk to his guys. At the end of the meeting, bring in my guy.
You saw it a lot as well from Kevin O'Sullivan, the Florida head coach in the College World Series. They went all the way, but every time he would make a pitching change, he'd stand out there until the umpire would basically say, all right, let's go. And then he'd make the pitching change the last possible second. Molatier stays in. 6th inning, 2 out. Runner in scoring position is William McIver. The hitter is Tristan Pompey. Pompey's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. He's now hitting 200 on the season. That's 10 for 50. And it's 0-1 count on the big blue Kentucky Wildcat. Outside, 1-1.
Believe Jamie Shevchik is the youngest coach here in the Cape League for the Brewster Whitecaps.
On the rise, as they'd like to say.
In his 3rd season.
Also a pretty young pitching coach in Austin Straub. Outside again, 2-1. Pompey not only trying to flex his ability to get on base, but trying to flex that power a little bit more here on the Cape. Just outside, 3-1 now. And you got to wonder what kind of pitch Molatier is going to throw to Pompey here. Dangerous count to a dangerous hitter. In the stretch, Molatier looks back at McIver. Now kicks towards home plate. Outside corner. Breaking ball, 3-2. That's a good one. 7-7 in the 9th. Orleans and YD. Wow.
Wow.
Orleans and YD both been red hot recently. Pitch fouled away. Good job by McIver punching that one down towards the Brewster dugout. 3-2.
Yeah, those are the top 2 teams in the Eastern Division. Bourne and Harwich are in the top of the 7th. The Mariners leading the Braves 3-0.
the Gatemen would love for the Mariners to hold on to that lead. And also this one as well, Chatham and Katuitt. Outside, and Pompey works the walk, the second walk of the inning for Molitier. And there's 2 men on.
Yeah, Chatham beat Katuitt 10-5 today, so Katuitt coming off that tie last night versus Hyannis. They'll get their 10th loss of the season. So Bourne would like to win that game. They would still need a point in the standings to take over first place, but they would be within 1 point. But again, Bourne losing 3-0 right now in the top of the 7th to those Mariners in Harwich.
Big spot for Jake Anchia. Chance to really open up this game, get some more run support for your pitching staff, for Tanner Dotson and whoever comes in following him. First pitch outside to Jake Anchia, 1-0. McIver's on second, Pompey is on first. They were both sent there via walk. Walk 2 and 3 on the day for Molitier, the Monmouth product. Facing a Nova Southeastern Shark, batting from the right side. Former D2 national champion in Jake Anchia. Here's the 1-0. Fouled towards the Gatemen dugout. Can the catcher Gasper get there? Instead, it was the first baseman Infante trying to make the play, but it went out of play towards the bleachers. And the count now 1-1. Anchia hitting .232 up to this game this year. 13 for 56, now 13 for 58 with the fact that he's 0 for 2. 3 home runs leads the Gatemen, however. 8 runs batted in for today's first baseman. Grounds it, left side. Good play by the third baseman, Datris, on to first to beat Jake Anchia with a sharp throw. The Brewster Whitecaps get out of trouble, but the Gatemen get no runs on 2 hits, no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 men left for the Wareham Gatemen. To the 7th we go. It's 1-0 Wareham over Brewster on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is all about family, and it's all about fun. Friendly's is all about family and fun and is proud to sponsor the 2017 baseball season. Friendly's, life with extra sprinkles.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Welcome back. 2/3 of the way through this one. It's 1-0 Gatemen. And the Brewster Whitecaps trying to work something against Tanner Dotson, the first relief pitcher on the day for Wareham. Dotson gave up a walk and a hit back in the 6th, but was able to get out of it scoreless. Miller Hogan on the day, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, strikes out 5 batters, and walks 2 on the day. But Miller Hogan overall scoreless against him. Fouled away. The batter is Hunter Bishop, the Arizona State Sun Devil, not Red Devil. And it's 1-1.
In line for the win tonight, too.
Absolutely. The advantage of going 5 innings here on the Cape. 1-1 from Dodson. Outside corner, 1-2. Bishop has struck out twice today, once looking, once swinging. Both off of Miller Hogan, however. Here's the 1-2. Grounded foul down the first base line. Bishop 301 this year for Arizona State. 484 slugging percentage, so he can hit a long ball. A lot of extra base hits. 1 and 2. Sent out to center field. On the run is Quan. It's over his head and off the wall on a hop. Heading to second is a stand-up double for Hunter Bishop. Tough start on Dodson.
Well, just like that, I mean, the Whitecaps could be right back in this game with a hit from Marty Costas. This could drive in a run easily from second base. And coming into today, this Brewster lineup only scored 1 run in the past 2 games. So they've been struggling a little bit like Wareham's lineup has been.
So that means that Brewster has only scored, would you say 1 run in the last 2 games?
Yes.
So that means Brewster's only scored 1 run in their past 24 innings played. Really got to kind of get out of this slump. You mentioned it's a really good lineup. And this guy right here can hit. Marty Costas takes a pitch inside.
Funny thing about Costas is that he has actually been hit by a pitch the 3rd most times in the league this season.
Wow. I mean, how many times is that?
4.
Oh, that's still a lot. I feel like that's a lot. 4 times being hit by a pitch already. Stepping off is Dodson. The count's 1-0 on Costas. Martin Costas, but goes by Marty.
And with that being said, only 1 run in the past 2 games for Brewster. They're still winners of 4 out of their last 5.
Shows bunt, gets it down. A good one, picking it up. Dodson over to first for the safe play. The runner from second, Hunter Bishop, advances to third. Good bunt by Marty Costas, gets the job done. And now a fly ball would likely score Hunter Bishop, but look at Tristan Pompey out there in right field warming up his arm for a sac fly attempt.
Why not? He's trying to pull a Tanner Dodson.
He's ready. He's saying, hit the ball to me, or Julian Infante right now.
Pompey really going at it right there.
Fouled away on the first pitch by Infante. Infante's 1 for 1, or 1 for 2, excuse me, but has been put out both times he's come to the bat, or come to bat.
Infield is in right now. You got to think that with only 1 run your offense has provided, the Wareham Gatemen may be going home with this one.
Fouled away. And now 0-2. Big pitch coming up for Dodson with a chance to really put the pressure on next batter.
Yeah, Pompey's still warming up his arm out there and right.
Ready for anything that comes his way. Trying to keep this Gatemen lead intact and trying to keep this shutout going with the Wareham pitching staff. Julian Infante staring down Tanner Dodson, the righty. Takes a pitch way up high. Dodson getting a little bit wild with that one, but a good play by McIver, preventing that one from getting to the backstop. That one was at the helmet, and McIver had to jump up. 1-2 on the Vanderbilt Commodore. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Julian Infante strikes out, swinging. Another strikeout. The second for Tanner Dodson, brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. That's a huge out with a runner on third and 1 out. And that will bring up Nick Dunn. Dangerous hitter to have with that runner on third. First pitch takes a strike. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. One thing about a lot of these guys, a lot of this Brewster Whitecaps team, is they take a lot of pitches early in the count. Saw that with the Gatemen early on. They've kind of adjusted later in the season. Did he go? He did not, says third base / second base umpire Ronaldo Cockrum. But for the Gatemen, it's been swinging a lot early in the counts now. But for the Brewster Whitecaps, they're taking a lot of pitches. And the Gatemen have been capitalizing, getting ahead in the count. But right now, Tanner Dodson falling behind in the count, 2-1. Nick Dunn has yet to swing. 2 outs in the 7th. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Dodson trying to get out of this jam. Runner on third is Hunter Bishop. He was there when he was in scoring position with nobody out. Sack bunt moved into third. Strikeout swinging for Julian Fonte. Here's the pitch. Lined into left field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Scoring is Hunter Bishop. It's a tie game on a clutch RBI single from Nick Dunn. The returner to this Brewster Whitecaps lineup does big things in a big moment.
The shortstop, number 6,
The Maryland Terp getting it done.
Something you want to pay attention to out in left field. That ball was about to hop over John Topa, maybe for an extra base hit by Nick Dunn, but Topa gets the glove on it, hops up in the air, doesn't let it go over him, and keeps Dunn at first. But man, oh man, another tie game going into these later innings for the Wareham Gatemen.
And it hasn't been, this one's grounded sharply through the right side for a base hit. Rounding second and stopping there. They're going to go back to second, but it goes over the head of Kasser. It's a single for Graffanino. 3 hits off Dodson in the 7th.
Right fielder, number 46,
It's been the story of the game. These past few games have been the bullpen struggles.
And in that one inning, I mean, it's always what's killed the Gatemen this year has been the big inning, as we call it on the broadcast. That 8th inning versus Chatham last night, which was 5 runs. That was a big inning.
And now with 2 outs as well, with the runner on, 2 outs, the runner on first, with the runner already across, you gotta keep it at that. If you're Tanner Dodson, you gotta try to shut this down as quickly as possible, get your lineup back out there, and this is a dangerous hitter that he did not want to face when this inning began. Began with a 6-hitter, Hunter Bishop. This is the 2-hitter, Chandler Taylor. Swing and a miss. He was swinging for the fences, trying to hit that American flag out there and right, but instead it's 0-1.
There is action out there in the Wareham bullpen. Funny thing is, if they do decide to take out Tanner Dodson some point soon, he's still in the lineup because he's leading off next inning.
0-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike. That was beautiful from Dodson, just dropping in there at the belt. And now he's 1 strike away from getting out of this in a tie game. The RBI single came from Nick Dunn. Here's the pitch. Inside. Did he go? McIver checks over to the umpire at third, Ronaldo Cockrum, but no swing, he says.
Points his glove down the third baseline, but Cockrum's actually in the infield.
Chandler Taylor, the Alabama Crimson Tide. 1-2. Low in the dirt. Good play by McIver, keeping the runners where they are at first and second. 2-2, 2 out. 7th inning, 1-1 game. Brewster Whitecaps, Wareham Gatemen. Thank you for joining us on the Wareham Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Sam Corman, joined by Jacob Toby today. Also, Claudia Chikamian with some quick reports in between innings. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Breaking ball fools Chandler Taylor. He's down on strikes for the 2nd time today. But the Brewster Whitecaps get 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 men on. It's the 7th inning stretch here in Wareham. It's brought to you by Eastern Propane and Oil, proud to sponsor the Gatemen with locations on and off the Cape. More Gatemen baseball after the break on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is all about family, and it's all about fun. Friendly's is all about family and fun and is proud to sponsor the 2017 baseball season. Friendly's, life with extra sprinkles.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
It's the 7th inning. Joe Molitier still on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps, now in a tie game. And Luke Bonfield being pinch hit for by Tanner Dodson, the pitcher.
That's weird to hear at a Dan Diaz's announcement.
It definitely is. The pitcher at bat again, Tanner Dodson, getting an opportunity here to help himself out. First pitch swinging up the middle for a base hit. Look at that. Tanner Dodson finding himself a home in the left side of the batter's box. And he fakes towards second with a ball rolling into the infield, but now runs back to first and toward his safety net of the first base coach, Sean Callahan.
Just want to say that that was a nice hit, but what I really wanted to say before that was, I mean, Dan Diaz, our PA announcer, his Twitter page is fire.
It's fire?
He's always on Twitter. He's always watching.
I'm pretty sure he followed me the other day after I followed him.
He'll give you a nice GIF tweet every now and then, or GIF, depending on how you say it.
Runner fakes towards second, and Dodson back it to first in time. If not for a rough throw from Mickey Gasper, Dodson could have been gunned at first. Duran is the batter. He's down 0-1. Molitier still in the game. This is only the second time the leadoff batter has gotten on in the first. And the good news for the Gatemen is the first time that happened, McIver came around to score, the only run for Wareham today. Duran 0 for 2 today. Runner at third goes in, expecting bunt, lined up the middle for a base hit. Rounding second is Dodson. He's into third. A single for Jaron Duran gets Dodson just 90 feet away from retaking the lead for the Wareham Gatemen. Big piece of hitting.
Broken bat, but just out of the stretch to reach for the glove of Graffinino and goes into center field. Dodson was hustling. He was off on the play already. Hit and run, as you said, Sam, and he's now at third. Runners at the corners here for the Gatemen. Perfect opportunity. No outs on the scoreboard. And their guy, Robbie Metz, coming up to the plate right now.
And now here comes Jamie Shevchik out to the mound. And this will likely be the call. We'll wait to hear what's going on, but Shevchik taking his time. And there will be a pitching change. We will send it to break. We'll find out who it is right after this on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
It's a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org. Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Welcome back. Good outing for Joe Mulletier, going 6+. Those two runners are his responsibility, though. That's Dodson on third and Jaron Duran on first. The new pitcher for the Brewster Whitecaps, Sam Bordner, the Louisville Cardinal. And Bordner, 90-94 on his fastball, a low 80 slider. That's fast for a slider. Runner goes on the first pitch. Lined opposite field. Will it stay fair? And no, it won't. Robbie Metz just a few feet away from delivering what could have been a 2 RBI hit there, with the runner Duran already on his way to second on a hit and run attempt.
Yeah, I love that. Why not? First pitch at the at-bat. Got the new pitcher Bordner coming in. Challenge him early on. Duran's speed easily, if that was fair, would have scored 2.
Robbie Metz is 0 for 2 today. He's 17 for 62 this season. They go over to first for a pickoff attempt, and not much going on for Jaron Duran. They're just trying to tire him out a little bit. Bordner 2-0 with a 0.41 ERA for Louisville this season. Here's the pitch to Metz.
Ooh.
And Duran was almost caught sleeping, and so was Bordner.
Yeah, both of them. But Ronaldo Cochran watching closely on the mound to make sure that was not a balk or any other type of illegal movement.
Here's the 0-1. Line, down the line, foul. 0-2 now, Metz in a hole.
Tell you, Duran's itching to get to second base on a hit and run. He's flinched every single time the pitch has been thrown.
Metz just a little bit late on these fastballs from Bordner so far. We'll see if he decides to stick with it or go with the off-speed slider. Bordner, a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio at Louisville. That's impressive stuff. Team made the semifinals this year of the College World Series, lost to the champions Florida Gators. Another pickoff attempt. And the first baseman, Infante, held the ball on Duran's back before he threw it back to the pitcher, making sure Duran stayed on the bag. Not fooling him, though. 0-2. Duran stays, and Metz fouls it away, staying alive. Another fastball from Bordner. Bordner's from Columbus, Ohio. 6'6". I believe Columbus is a few hours from Louisville. About 3, nonetheless. More or less 3. Around 3.
Be confident.
It's close to
the geography teacher.
Louisville is about an hour from Cincinnati, and then I believe Cincinnati is about 2 hours from Columbus. So that should work. 0-2. Runner goes. Popped up right side. Duran heads back to first, and the first baseman Infante makes the catch for the first out of the inning. A big pop out for Sam Bordner and for the Brewster Whitecaps defense. Metz is 0 for 3. Stephen Kwan is also 0 for 3, and he's going to lead off, or he's the leadoff hitter. He's going to come to bat.
Now with Kwan's speed, I don't know. I don't know if they would do this, but what about laying a bunt down that third base line? What would that do? With Dodson's speed at third.
It's risky for sure.
It is.
You look at the positioning of the corner infielders right now, and it doesn't seem like it will be too risky. You just got to avoid the pitcher is the thing. The first pitch to Kwan, low. These two teams were the Kwan, Oregon State, and Bordner, Louisville. They were the kind of bronze medal finalists in the College World Series this year. There is no bronze medal or third place game, of course, but they were the two semifinal losers to LSU in Florida. 1-0. Runner goes. Kwan drives this one to deep right, and under it is Chandler Taylor. Duran heads back to first. Tagging from third is Dodson. Here's the throw. Dodson safe. The Gatemen take a 2-1 lead on a sac fly from Stephen Kwan. He gets the job done again. That's 8 RBIs in 8 games for Kwan now.
This crowd likes it. They like what Stephen Kwan's brought to the club this year. Does exactly what he needs to do, and with Tanner Dodson's speed, he got in there, no problem. Didn't even need to slide, was standing up, scoring from third base, and Here we are, Gatemen with another one-run lead.
They do a nice job getting it back after Tanner Dodson gives up the run in the top of the 7th, comes back, scores the tying run, or scores the run that gives the Gatemen the lead in the bottom of the 7th. Duran goes again, pitches a strike on to second, not in time. Duran slides in easily. Another stolen base for Jaron. Number 5 on the season out of 7 attempts for Jaron Duran.
No surprise there.
Now another runner in scoring position, though. It's a big stolen base for Duran, and on any single, he's probably coming home to score. Here's Kyle Kasser. 0-1 on him. The pitch on the... He goes again, and he got an incredible jump, and he just slides in easily. 0-2.
Oh, my Lord.
Duran's just running around the bases.
Why not? If they're not going to challenge you, you challenge them.
Very aware, always in the bases, knows when he knows when to go, and certainly that was one. Stolen base number 6 for Duran.
Wow.
It's 0-2 on Kasser, however. One more stolen base would score a run for Jaron Duran. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Kasser down swinging to retire the side. But the Gatemen retake the lead. It's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. They leave 1 man at third. To the 8th inning we go. 2-1 Wareham over Brewster on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Welcome back. Dalton Roach, the new pitcher for the Wareham Gatemen in the 8th inning. And the Gatemen on top 2-1. Good outing for Tanner Dodson. Goes 2 innings. Gives up that 1 earned run, but 3 strikeouts to 1 walk for Dodson. He'll take that, considering he's trying to continue to get better as the year goes on. He'll also take it because he was the guy that led off the 7th with a single and also was able to come around and score on a sac fly to retake the Gatemen lead at 2-1. What do you think of Dalton Roach coming into the situation?
Dalton Roach, Minnesota State, will be a senior this year, coming up, 6'2", 200-pound right-handed pitcher. His debut versus Bourne, very good. An inning pitch, no earned runs, no hits, and a strikeout. Comes in versus Falmouth, 2 innings, no earned, 4 strikeouts. And he looked really, really good there, fanning 4 guys. I mean, he was the 2017 Tomko Award recipient. That's the top pitcher in Division II baseball. So he has been noticed, and now he has put himself on notice here in the Cape League. And now Jamie Shevchik's talking about something with the home plate umpire, Sparky Burns. Now they're going to get together here.
Yeah, Shevchik wondering something and pointing something out to the umpires, and now they're all going to talk, and Dalton Roach just tossed the driver.
What do you think they could be talking about? Because I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
Well,
it could be something that has to do with
a
Tanner.
lineup?
I'm
Yes.
thinking something that has to do with Tanner Dodson.
Yep. They're looking at the lineup card right now. Dodson comes in to pinch hit for Luke Bonfield, but he's subbed out as a pitcher of the game. So does that take Dodson out of the lineup too? Does that act as a double whammy?
Well, you can move a player to a different position, so you can move him to
to
the DH spot.
Yeah, that is a position.
But once you take out the DH in the game, you cannot put it back in. Is what I think the issue is. Is that correct? And that might be what they're talking about.
This is going to take a little bit to figure out here.
I'm pretty sure that once you take the DH out of the game, it's automatically out. The pitcher has to hit for the rest of the game.
Well, then there wouldn't be an issue, correct?
Well, then the issue would be that Dalton Roach is the next batter for the Gatemen next time.
I see.
So you could be seeing a little bit of a National League crazy, pitchers hitting. But they could always pinch hit and then bring in
That's
another
probably
pitcher.
what they would do.
Of course, that's even if they get around to the 6-hitter or the 7-hitter.
Don Snedden not over there right now. Doesn't seem to be concerned about this.
Okay, continuing with tonight's 50-50 raffle prizes.
Did Fell just destroy whatever we were just talking
No.
about?
I was laughing at Dan Diaz, his going back into the announcements for the 50-50 raffle.
Red Sox box seats, ticket 356.
Might as well.
5274. And finally,
It's the top of the 8th inning. It's almost the top of the 8th inning.
It is almost, and the Gatemen now have a 1-run lead. They had it going into that 7th inning. They lost it. They get it back in that 7th inning alone. Like you said, Tanner Dodson just so good at the plate. Let up that 1-run run on the hill, but still struck out 3 batters. Did let up 4 hits through 2 innings, but so far has been really, really good on the mound. And now Pat Burns will come talk to Jamie Shevchik once more. And we will get an explanation, I feel, from the home plate umpire. He might come over and say something to the press box. And he's pointing right there at Dalton Roach. And now the umpires gather again.
Yeah. 2-1, Wareham over Brewster right now in this game. The 8th inning is about to begin. And how does this could affect Dalton Roach's routine? He came out here for some warm-up tosses, and now all of a sudden the inning isn't going to be starting for, it looks like, another minute at least. I mean, right now the ump's just chatting away with Shevchik. Wish we could hear what was going on down there. Maybe stick the crowd mic into the conversation here. Dalton Roach is the new pitcher. He's from Minnesota State, the Eau Claire, Wisconsin native. Has just a few outings so far with the Gatemen this season. Oh, Matt Phelps here.
Yes, so I believe the issue here is that, of course, they brought Tanner Dodson into pitch. And when they did that, they put him in Luke Bonfield's spot in the lineup. Now, I believe that with Dalton Roach in the game, head coach John Senate would like to put Tanner Dodson back into the DH spot. In my understanding, there is no way that that is allowed.
I don't think so either. I think that once you
I
take
could be
the
wrong.
DH
Maybe if the Cape League rules are different, to my understanding. But
Yeah.
once you take the DH out, once you put someone in the DH spot and he's the pitcher, once you take him out of the game, he's out of the game. Dalton Roach, in my understanding, should be in that spot now.
Of course, they'll put in a pinch hitter
Of
for him.
course, we could always have the fun, like, Legion re-entry rule where you can, like, pinch run for someone and then put them back in the game. But I don't think we have that in the Cape League. So that's my understanding here. It looks like the umpires, however, based on the way they're talking to the Brewster coaching staff, that they believe that that's okay that Dodson go back into the lineup. It'll just be my luck that in the one night I'm doing the scoring, this game will be put under protest, of course.
I don't think he'll be seeing maybe, but I don't think he'll be seeing any games being put under protest here in the Cape League.
Going back to it, though, Dalton Roach has his way of doing things, and he comes in ready to pitch, and he's still now tossing.
It's getting heated between Shevchik and the umpire and crew here.
Bar and Grill for generous generously providing tonight's post-game meal to our players and interns.
And I definitely
Once
think that
again,
that is
thank
the
you
issue
to our
because
friends at BB's Bar and Grill.
you can't, I mean, at least in most leagues, you can't take out the DH and then put him back in. And that's what we speculated before. This top half of the 8th inning was supposed to start about 5 minutes ago. And here we are at 8:48. And we'll probably just decide to send it to break. We'll be back on the Gatemen Baseball Network when we get all this figured out.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like the balsamic grilled chicken or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today.
Welcome back. All cleared up. Pat Burns just came over and told us that Dalton Roach is now the 7-hitter in the Gatemen lineup, where the DH was once. Now it's the pitcher spot. And that is, I believe, the right call from the umpire. You can't take out the DH spot, then put him back in when Dodson leaves as the pitcher. At least not in most leagues.
You know what? I don't know. Baseball's back, though. That's what I'm happy about.
Yes, it feels like it's a new game. That was a long delay. The pitch is low. The batter is Mickey Gasper out of Bryant. It's 1-0 on him. Gasper's 0 for 1 with 2 walks today. Has also reached scoring position twice.
And how will this affect Dalton Roach? That's the big question.
Yeah, through his warm-up pitches, big delay, and he was just kind of tossing back and forth to McIver.
Yeah, you don't really want to throw more pitches, per se.
Gets a swing and a miss, 1-1. Roach, an Eau Claire, Wisconsin native. That's basically in Minnesota, but it's in Wisconsin. Right on the border, and Minnesota State, of course, way up there. Northwoods League territory. Pitch was low in the dirt, 2-1. They play. I was talking to Grant Wolfram before the game. Played in the Northwoods League last year. 75 games up there in Northwoods League every summer. That's just a ton. In addition to a full college season. On the outside corner, good pitch from Roach. A fastball, 2-2.
Yeah, I have a friend that I went to high school with. He actually plays there right now. He's actually from Cotuit. He's trying to play for the Kettleers maybe next year. But, yeah, that's a long season out there and multiple state travel.
A lot of doubleheaders, of course. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Good job by Gasper punching out that breaking ball out foul and into the fence behind home plate. Count remains at 2-2. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Gasper is the leader for this Brewster Whitecaps team in most categories. Grounds this one through the left side for a base hit. Mickey Gasper gets the Whitecaps going in the 8th inning. That's what they needed.
The designated hitter, number 11, Michael Curry.
And Michael Curry is going to try to come up with a clutch hit, follow that one up. And Dalton Roach is going to try to stop the bleeding, of course.
Curry's had a good night. 2 for 2.
3 for 3.
3 for 3, excuse me.
Michael Curry yet to be retired. 3 for 3 with a double and 2 singles. One of 3 SEC batters in this Brewster lineup. Chandler Taylor in the 2-hole out of Alabama. Julian Infante out of Vanderbilt in the 8-hole. First pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Dalton Roach, 10-1 this year for Minnesota State Mankato. 86 innings pitched, heavy workload for Roach. 0-1 to the righty Curry, hitting .286 this year. has worked a lot of walks as well. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike. What a pitch from Roach.
Talk about Roach leading his team in innings pitched. Also leads them in strikeouts. Back at Minnesota State, had 128 this past season.
Curry second on the team with 13 walks. 10 RBIs on the season for the DH. Swings and a miss. The first out of the inning for Dalton Roach. Michael Curry down for the first time today. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Kyle Datris, the 5-hitter, he's 0 for 2, and he's trying to work something off of Roach.
Roach only walked 12 batters.
That's incredible.
That is an absurd strikeout to walk ratio.
Well, how many strikeouts?
128.
Calculate that for me. That pitch is outside, or I can do it. But that is nuts. I just want to see that in strikeout to walk ratio form, just so I can be blown away even more. 1-0 to Kyle Datris.
10.6.
A 10.6 strikeout to walk ratio this season. You should just say that like it's not anything, you know. But it's pretty crazy. Outside corner, 1-1. Good pitch from Roach. Datris, 265, 51 RBIs for the Tar Heels this spring.
Believe we are going to get a pinch runner.
Yes. It looks like Connor Smith.
Yep.
A Western Michigan product, a Bronco in Western Michigan. They had a really good football team this year. And now Connor Smith, who was compared by the Brewster broadcaster Carter Woodiel, he compared Connor Smith to John Topa, guy that will get on base a lot. He's not going to get a lot of extra base hits. He's going to slap balls through the infield, opposite field, and get you a guy on base. And he has a good average this season because of that ability, hitting at 291. And now he has a chance to flash some speed as a pinch runner.
This is his second time versus the Wareham Gatemen. Both times he has come off the bench.
They go over to first for a pickoff attempt, nothing doing. 8 for 10 stolen bases for Connor Smith at Western Michigan this season. Midland, Michigan native. 339 on the season with the Broncos. He's at first base. The batter is Kyle Datris. And time is called before the pickoff attempt. So they'll do it again. Datris played last summer for the Baltimore Redbirds of the Cal Ripken League. Hit 378 out there in Baltimore. 32 games. Low corner for a strike from Dalton Roach. He's in the driver's seat, 1-2 on Datris. Datris, another guy who walks a lot, and that shows because his on-base percentage is about 130 points higher than his batting average. It's a 258 batting average, a 382 on base, and 12 walks so far. Pickoff attempt, and it rolls away from Jake Anchia. Looked like Smith was back safely anyway, but Anchia unable to hold on. Datris is in the box waiting a 1-2 count. A lot of pickoff moves toward that pinch runner in Smith. Fresh off the bench, not tired at all. Could very easily try for a stolen base. With 1 out, Brewster down by 1. He's a big runner. 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The second consecutive strikeout for Dalton Roach. Another one brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. And Arizona State's Hunter Bishop with 2 outs and a runner on first. Really good job by Dalton Roach recovering from that leadoff single.
Breaking ball. Nice job there. Nice spot. Kind of the inside part.
Thing just floats in there.
It did float.
From the top of the strike zone into the knees. Good pitch from Roach. Over to first again. Low pickoff throw. Anchia does a nice job handling it. Gets it back to Roach. And Hunter Bishop will have to wait. He scored the only run today for the Brewster Whitecaps. It was a extra base hit that lit off the 7th, a double, and then came around to score on an RBI single from the 9-hitter Nick Dunn. Here's the pitch, breaking ball low. 1-0. Nice job there by Bishop laying off that one. Looked tempting from here. Brewster has won 4 of their last 5 games. Here they are at Spillane Field. 1-0, high, 2-0. McIver throws it back. Yesterday they lost to YD 4-0, as I said earlier. Chris Bubich, who pitched against Wareham the first time we saw YD, he had a really good outing despite the fact that the Wareham Gatemen came out victorious against YD. Yesterday went 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits against this Brewster lineup. Swing and a miss. Bishop cutting through that fastball, and Dalton Roach getting a lot of swings and misses early on in this outing. For him, you have to wonder what the plan is for Jim Lawler in the 9th if Roach can get out of this.
Also in that game, YD's leadoff hitter Nico Horner hit his 2nd leadoff home run.
They go to first, nothing doing for Connor Smith.
His 2nd leadoff home run since Saturday. That was against Brewster.
Brewster heads to Chatham tomorrow and then heads to Falmouth to close out a 3-game road trip middle of the season. Inside corner called strike. 2-2 from Roach. He's painting the corners, especially that low part of the plate. The Minnesota State product. Two and two. Here's the pitch, a big one to Hunter Bishop. Breaking ball called, strike 3. Dalton Roach hangs the breaking ball right in there, and he strikes out the side. Another one brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exofaris, and Bullard. To the bottom of the 8th, Roach is lights out. The Gatemen coming to bat, trying to extend a 2-1 lead here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
Welcome back. Gatemen up to bat, bottom half of the 8th inning. They lead the Brewster Whitecaps 2-1. This is the first visit for the Whitecaps here to Spillane Field this season. They'll come back on Thursday, July 27th for a rare 5 p.m. start at Spillane. Interesting. Reminder, you can reach out to us at the press box here. That's pressbox@gatemen.org, pressbox@gatemen.org to shoot questions, comments, or concerns. Willie McIver leading off the 8th. He swung through that one, fouled it away, 0-1. The pitcher is still Sam Bordner for Brewster out of Louisville. Number 48 delivers outside corner to McIver. He's down 0-2.
YD has walked off on Orleans tonight. Number 2 team taking down the number 1 team in the Eastern Division. Alfonso Rivas with a walk-off RBI single to drive in Kyle Isbell.
0-2 Big win for YD in that Eastern Division. Big rivalry game right there with the top two teams in the East going at it. 1-2 now after that pitch was outside.
That'll put them 3 points still behind Orleans. But there were 3 runs scored in that bottom of the ninth for YD. And Harwich beat Bourne 3-1.
In the dirt, 2-2.
Bourne scored their lone run in the top of the ninth in a comeback effort.
Yeah, and Antoine Duplantis, the LSU Tiger, coming in here. And he had a phenomenal College World Series, comes into the Cape and gets a 3-for-4 night out of tonight. He'll be playing for Harwich. Lined into center field on a 2-2 count. And William McIver's on first. He has yet to be retired. He's 2 for 2 with 2 walks as well. Impressive stuff, William McIver.
And of course, Chatham beat Catuit tonight 10-5.
Getting some help from those Eastern Division teams are the Gatemen.
Yep. So Catuit, with their loss, drops to 14-10-1. And Bourne, with their loss, drops to 13-12. So with a win tonight, the Gatemen would still be 3 points behind Bourne for second.
Topa squares around. They go over to first. They got him. McIver is picked off for the second time in the past few games. He was picked off on Sunday against YD. He does it again at first base. They fooled him. And now the base is clear.
Yeah, that just can't happen if you're Willie McIver on the base paths. With your speed, you have to know how far you're going to go over and what you have to do to not get thrown back out over there at first base.
Outside corner, called for a strike. John Topa in the cleanup spot today is 1 for 2. And that's what he's been doing all season, just going 1 for 2 with a walk and getting consistent hits, scoring runs. Hasn't scored today, but he's been in scoring position. And that was a strike. 0-2 on Topa, the Yukon Husky. 1 out in the 8th. The pitcher, Sam Bordner from Louisville. Here's the 0-2. Change-up, got him. Topa reaching out in front of that one. And he strikes out swinging, the second consecutive at-bat where he struck out swinging. And 2 out in the 8th for Tristan Pompey.
We haven't mentioned the MLB All-Star Game is being played tonight. Of course, YD alumnus Chris Sale started the game for the AL.
George Springer, I believe, is in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Former Wareham Gatemen. Into the gap. Shallow fly ball coming on and making the play. A shoestring catch for the right fielder, Chandler Taylor. And the side's retired. Well, ahead of the 9th. 2-1 Gatemen. A chance to win it for the closer coming in. We'll reveal who it is after this break.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
All-Star Game weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Varitek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Brett Canine, the closer, coming in. Told you we'd reveal it after the break. And
that was sneaky good of you to do that.
There it is. Brett Canine, the Cal State Fullerton Titan, coming into the game. And he had a really good recovery outing his last time out after, or his last 2 times have been really good recovery outings after a tough first outing against the Falmouth Commodores. 2017, 31 appearances for Fullerton. 45 innings pitched, goes 0-1 with a 1.39 ERA for Canine. Impressive year for him. A lot of saves out there as well for Cal State Fullerton. Here last year with the Gatemen. He has that cutter, that change, that curve, that fastball. Mostly that cutter, though. 2016 with the Gatemen, 36 innings pitched, struck out 29 batters and only walked 11. And here he is to face the bottom of the lineup for the Brewster Whitecaps, their last hope to win their 5th game in 6 attempts and to try to snap or try not to start a losing streak. They lost yesterday to YD at Red Wilson Field. Ball up high from Canine, 1-0.
Remember, it was a 4-2 ball game. Canine pitched in that 9th inning. Led up 2 of the runs versus Falmouth in that ultimate 8-4 loss in 11 innings it was.
Yeah, lots of extras recently for the Gatemen. 3 games have gone to extras in the past about week and a half to 2 weeks. 2-0.
It's a lot to ask of your baseball club.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. 2-0. In there for a strike from Canine. The glove of McIver snaps beautifully on that one.
And with those losses or tie in those games where they've gone extra innings, Matty Felda said this a couple times, the Gatemen record could be better than it is, and it probably should be the way they've played.
They say he goes without even checking to the first base umpire, Stephen Williams. Pat Burns makes the call. Strike 2. Costas really wanted him to check to first base, but instead, no extra input needed for Pat Sparky Burns. 2-2. Here's the pitch from Canine. Breaking ball outside.
That's a good pitch, though. I like that pitch.
That thing comes from the inside part of the plate, ended up on the right side of the lefty batter's box.
But you cannot walk the leadoff hitter here.
3-2. Big pitch coming up for both these hitter and the batter. Fouled away, staying alive. Marty Costas.
So 7-8-9 here coming up for Brewster. This is what you'd want if you were Brett Canine.
Yeah, but, I mean, this is a loaded bottom of the order for sure. Marty Costas, a good hitter. And Julian Infante, a Vanderbilt hitter on deck. And then Nick Dunn was an all-star here last year in the 9-hole. Slow grounder to the shortstop. Kasser, can he get there in time? He does beat Marty Costas. 1 out in the 9th.
But 7-8-9 tonight really has struggled except for Nick Dunn's RBI single in the 7th.
Yeah, definitely. Julian Infante got a single in the 2nd, but was then thrown out on that same play at second base. And had he known that this game was going to be like that, like the way it has been, he probably would have stopped at first. But it was early on. It was the first, or it was the 2nd inning when that happened. So, different situation.
Yeah, all these runs, all 3 of them have really mattered tonight.
Especially that, small ball today has really mattered. That sac fly from Stephen Kwan, that ground out that moved Dodson over. Or it was a single that moved Dodson over, excuse me. But, it's worked out with that sac fly so far. 0-1 from Canine. The batter is Julian Infante. The Vanderbilt Commodore is 1 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts coming in the 5th and the 7th. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball beautifully lays in there for a strike. 0-2. Canine settling in. Infante, 5 for 22 coming into today. Now he's 6 for 24. That's a .250 batting average for Infante so far. Here's the pitch from Canine. Fastball fouled away. Oh and 2 is still the count on Infante. 1 out. 9th inning. 2-1 Gatemen lead over the Brewster Whitecaps. I'm Sam Corman, joined by Jacob Toby. Thank you to Claudia Chikamian, as always. Matt Feld, Nick Veronesi, our producer. We'll get there eventually at the end of the broadcast. 0-2 in the dirt. Good take by Infante on that. Stays alive. 5 runs batted in so far for Infante. No home runs despite the fact that he had a lot at Vanderbilt, 10 this year. Or 11, excuse me, for the Commodores. Also hit .315. And he hit 2 home runs last year with Brewster.
And if you're Wareham, you really need this game at home. Going 0-2 in your last 2 home games.
Here's the 1-2. Canine delivers. Breaking ball outside, 2-2.
Crowd doesn't like it. That's nasty stuff, though.
That's more of a slurve ball than it is a curve ball. I don't know how you can call that a curve with the way it moves left to right from our angle, right to left for him.
Hey, bring that up with the scouts. I don't know. You could be a scout if you wanted to.
All right. Double as a scout and broadcaster at the same time.
That'd be cool.
2-2. Breaking ball. Swung on and missed, and on to first in time. Julian Infante strikes out. Another strikeout brought to you by the law offices of the Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. A lot of strikeouts for the Gatemen pitching today. That's number 13.
And right now, Brett Canine will face Nick Dunn. So pitcher and hitter, both 2016 returners. What an ending this will be.
Same with Infante, of course, with Brewster last year.
Of course, but this is the ending.
And he was Dunn played 42 of 44 games for the Whitecaps last season. Inside, 1-0. Maryland's Nick Dunn, the Sunbury, Pennsylvania native, is the last hope for the Brewster Whitecaps, trying to bounce back from a loss yesterday in Yarmouth. YD is on fire, but here's the pitch from Brett Canine. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Nick Dunn late on that pitch. A Louisville Slugger All-American as a freshman at the plate. A .261 average this year for Dunn at Maryland. Here's the 1-1 from Canine. He kicks and fires. Lined into the gap in right center field. On the run is Quan. It's a base hit. Rounding first is Dunn. He has a 2-out single. And that's big for Brewster. That brings the top of the order up. It's A.J. Graffinino.
2 outs, 2 pitches, 1 pitch away. 2 strikes away, I should say. I mean,
and now you have to face the leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Graffinino. Rivaling his fellow Washington Husky teammate, Willie McIver, at the plate. He stands in from the left side. They're used to being, very often used to being partners on that left side of the infield, Graffinino and McIver. Shortstop Graffinino, third baseman for most of the season at Washington was McIver. 1-0, first pitch. Graffinino leads this Whitecaps team in at-bats with 70. And it's a Husky first. The Titan that gets by McIver in advancing to second is Nick Dunn. He's in scoring position.
Oh no.
It's a wild pitch, says official scorekeeper.
And who is that tonight? It's our own Matt Feld.
What a gig. And Canine now staring down a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. 2-0 is also the count on Graffinino. He's in the hitter is in the driver's seat right now, ahead. 2 balls, no strikes. Canine 1 for 2 in save opportunities so far this year. The Cal State Fullerton team that made the College World Series. 2-0. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul down the first base side. Canine gets one back, 2-1. Canine looking back toward Nick Dunn. If you're wondering about Dunn's speed, 8 for 8 in stolen bases this year with Maryland. So a single into the outfield likely is scoring Nick Dunn on this play. And he certainly will be going for it given the situation. 2-1 from Brett Canine. Here's the pitch to Graffinino. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Fools him right over the top. 2-2. Canine 1 strike away from shutting it down for Wareham. A tense environment here at Spillane Field for sure. Dugout all on their feet on the edge of the railing. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-1 Gatemen lead. Calling time is Graffinino. Looked like he planned that one out the entire time. Graffinino waits the 2-2 from Brett Canine. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Graffinino strikes out swinging. Brett Canine closes the deal. The Gatemen win it 2-1 over the Brewster Whitecaps at Spillane Field. They snap a 2-game losing streak, a 3-game winless streak, and they're back in the win column against an Eastern Division foe. An impressive performance from the pitching staff. That last strikeout, by the way, brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Number 2 for Brett Canine, number 14 for the Gatemen pitching staff. They were all impressive today.
Excellent, all impressive. You talk about Miller Hogan, the 5 strong innings, 5 Ks, 47 strikes out of 73 total pitches. Tanner Dodson comes in. He's actually going to get the win. Credited with the win. He comes in, also scores the game-winning run, it turns out to be. So Tanner Dodson used both on the mound and at the plate tonight by head coach Don Sneddon. You talk about Dalton Roach, who is going to be our player of the game tonight. He comes in that 8th inning, lets up a leadoff walk to Connor Smith, the pinch hitter, then strikes out Curry, Daughtris, and Bishop. Bishop was caught looking to end that 8th inning. That was spectacular work after he had to wait about, I would say, 5 minutes at least. After he comes in, there was an issue with the umpires figuring out if Dodson could re-enter the game in the DH spot, but nevertheless, Dalton Roach pitches a perfect inning where he only walks 1, strikes out 3. Brett Canine comes in, saves the day, credited with another save on the season, strikes out a couple batters. Pitching was the story tonight. Your offense only limited to 2 runs. It was enough, but pitching, my lord, was great.
Yeah, 7 strikeouts in the 7th, 8th, and 9 combined for the Gatemen. Impressive stuff from the bullpen, especially also from Miller Hogan, the starting pitcher. So you heard it from him. Player of the game, Dalton Roach, coming in from Minnesota State. And overall, Gatemen improving on the season to 11-13-1. They'll come back at it tomorrow. That's at Bourne at Doran Park, right over the Cape Cod Canal. It's tomorrow night against the Bourne Braves. Back at home against Catuit in 2 days. Thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The the general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producer of today's broadcast, Nick Veronesi. Thank you to our sideline reporter, Claudia Chikamian, our beat writer and scorekeeper and color commentator for an inning, Matt Feld. To Jacob Toby, our great color commentator for today. And to everyone else for listening to today's broadcast of the Gatemen Baseball Network. Next broadcast, radio broadcast tomorrow at Bourne. Video broadcast in 2 days against the Catuit Kettleers here at Spillane Field. Once again, for Jacob Toby, I'm Sam Corman. Thanks for watching Gatemen Baseball on the Wareham Gatemen Baseball Network.